and we think, ooh, that'd make a good political leader. And that's often not the case. Do you have a baseline, Amo? What are the minimum requirements you want out of a seasoned and serious political leader?
Definitely education is the first one. They need to have some sort of degree. Couldn't be bothered in what, but they need to have something like a base, right? People skills, you mentioned something very important about having played a leadership role in, say, church or youth organizations. And also for me, it needs to be someone whom we've seen rise within the political ranks. So say you were a youth league leader of some sort, or you were a counselor some days. We need to have that.
So you want specific political experience?
Yeah, I do.
You wouldn't want to take,
experience.
the CEO of Standard Bank.
Of course
who
not.
has displayed leadership and knows how to run an entity of that size. You wouldn't take him and say, pivot into politics?
No. I wouldn't want for that to happen because those are different aspects of leadership.
Okay, Muteo? Sim for president? No? I'd take Sim for president.
I don't think he would take that position.
That's the point. That's why I would. He'd say no.
I think it's tough, but I like transparency from a leader, which has been quite tough in South African politics. Politicians are not forthcoming and not very quite clear, especially in tough situations, as we've asked for a leader from this particular new formation, and no one's forthcoming. But I think it's still...
Yeah, let's assume transparency, honesty. Let's assume those nice things are there.
Yeah.
The baseline qualification, what is it for you?
For me, I need you to be an activist for something.
Tell me more.
Whether you led a community around fixing water issues, you need to be an activist for something, for crime prevention, for something that has to do with the community that you've already done in your own personal.
So you need to have shown some level of service to a community about a particular issue. Does education matter? Qualifications?
Yes, it does.
What are we looking at?
I mean, I think post-matric, doesn't matter which one, but post-matric, yes.
Some kind of undergrad qualification of some sort.
Yeah.
All right. Your thoughts on 011 883 0702. We'll take your WhatsApp voice notes on 072 702 1702. We're asking you this, of course, because ActionSA says it's going to field a candidate for the mayoral chains of Ekurhuleni. He's a well-known television presenter, but meets Muteo's qualification of activism. He's a crime buster. You may know him, of course, from television, Xolani Khumalo. He has taken South African viewers into the heart of communities plagued by drugs and crime. He himself has admitted to having been a substance abuser at a point. So he's a well-known television presenter. He faced some serious charges himself not too long ago, and he says all of that was trumped up, and now he says he can run Ekurhuleni. Is that the kind of leader you want? Somebody with experience? Or do you think ActionSA is milking all it can from a television star that they think will have broad appeal or mass appeal, when in fact he might not have the granularity that's required to run a big metro like Ekurhuleni? We'll ask some of those questions to him. And Diddy is going to jail. Is he?
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
17 minutes after 6 o'clock. Mattel, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning the nice things that you do for people, the perks they get for being, your friends, for knowing you. Do you take those away when you disagree on something? Or do you remain civil even throughout the fallout?
Ooh, okay. It went from disagree to fallout. So my mind is racing as you're talking. I mean, I think friends should be allowed to have their differences, and the friendship should continue. In fact, I think that's part of the stress test of a friendship, right?
Yeah.
Is can you work through a disagreement? Fallout becomes something entirely different.
So if you usually pick up my kids on a Friday because I have something to do and this is something we've always had, and then now we disagree on something.
No, that shouldn't change.
Okay.
So what will have changed is the friendship. The perks come with the benefits of being in the friendship. If that friendship is gone, then the perks are gone, obviously.
Don't you do the nice things because...
If the friendship is gone, the friendship is gone. We've disagreed. That doesn't change squat as far as I'm concerned. You'll come around. You'll see the truth of my ways. eventually.
Amu, do you still make the cup of coffee for someone, even though you don't agree on things?
I don't. Yeah, if I'm used to bringing coffee for everyone in the morning in the office and I've had a fallout with one of the members, sorry, everyone is not getting that cup of coffee from me. If I pick up your children on a certain day and we have a disagreement, sorry, I'll actually send you the message that please don't expect me to pick up the kids today. I have other things to do.
Wait, Mutero, just be clear here. Are we talking about fallout or disagreement?
Let's call it
because those two are not the same thing.
Yeah, disagreement.
Let's call it a disagreement.
About what? About a fundamental issue, a matter of
Could
opinion?
be an issue, you guys don't agree on politics per se, and you have a big shouting, screaming match with each other, and you're like, you know what, I don't like your politics.
Yeah, look, I mean, but for very exceptional political points of view, there's not much that's going to, if I'm really your friend, there's not much that's going to threaten that.
So if
it's an intellectual thing, right? You and I are seeing differently about an intellectual position. That's different. I think time to convince each other remains if we're friends. But I think if it's about the fundamentals of our relationship, then yeah, all bets are off.
702. Weather.
It's 20 after 6. What conditions can you expect this Monday? Temperatures will peak at 29 degrees in Jozi and Vereeniging. 30 is your high in Pretoria. Cape Town max is at 18 degrees. It's 25 for Bloemfontein, 24 for Durban. You can expect isolated showers there. Gqeberha peaks at 22. Kimberley 25 is London 23.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, prepared to perform whatever the terrain. Amo, what are you seeing?
Well, we've got roadworks on the N3 North already causing delays between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North in the Germiston area between the Elands interchange and Van Buren Road. While traveling out of the city of Tshwane, do expect delays on the N1 South between the Brockfontein interchange and Samrand Avenue. I'll have more updates for you, but if you come across anything else on the roads, we're on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Weekdays on the highway, weekends on the trail, in rain, on tar, or halfway up a gravel pass. With the new Bridgestone Jeweler All-Terrain AT002, you don't have to choose. Bridgestone, prepare to perform whatever the terrain.
Looking for real ways to live greener? Then don't miss Green Tip of the Week, your weekly dose of sustainable inspiration. From eco-entrepreneurs to climate champions, we sit down with the people making real change. Catch Green Tip of the Week every Tuesday afternoon on Afternoon Drive with John Pullman between 3 and 6 p.m. only on 702. And it's brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
It's spring, SA, and here at Decofern, we say it's time to say yes. Say yes to new friends. Yes to new adventures. Will you marry me?
Yes!
And definitely say yes to a few new things.
Welcome to Decofern.
Say yes to awesome savings at the Decofern Furniture Spring Sale, with up to 35% off on outdoor furniture and much more. In store now or at decofernsa.co.za.
You are not dreaming. You are repeating. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Insurance, pineapple. Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Do you like invitations? Well, here's one. Would you like to come to the 702 launch of Mandy Wiener's new book? Midday Report host Mandy Wiener has written yet another fantastic book, this one about the negotiations that took place between political parties following last year's election. And it led to the formation of what we've been calling the Government of National Unity. Her new book is called The Deal. Now, Clement Banyatela is going to be interviewing Mandy about that book on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 8th of October at 10 a.m. Would you like to be in the studio audience? Would you like to visit 702 and watch Clement interviewing Mandy? Maybe even get your copy signed, hey? Why don't you send us an email to contact@702.co.za, contact at 702.co.za to be part of the studio audience for Clement's Mandy Wiener book launch interview. Wednesday, 10 a.m. 702, let's walk the talk.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Yeah. Looks like this Joberg mayor is going to be hotly contested next year since Helen's joined the race. Can't remember ever seeing so many parties show so much interest to win the mayor of Joburg position. Even this new party, Unify South Africa, are more interested about the mayor job than actually picking a leader.
Well, they call themselves Unite for Change. Don't be cynical. Don't be cynical. Joburgers, are you feeling spoilt for choice? We might see the return of Papa Mashaba. Helen Zille wants a go at it, and now there's a new party whose leader we don't quite yet know, but Asikolapa, Musi will explain.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
I asked the question earlier, how good are you with paperwork? How good are you at keeping your receipts and making sure everything is filed and you know exactly what you're spending on what? Well, we asked because AfriForum has exposed what they are calling a trail of cash payments linked to Fikile Mbalula. And they're saying one payment, for example, was 150,000 Rand, allegedly used to fund a family holiday. And they're now pressuring the National Prosecuting Authority to reconsider prosecuting Mbalula for possible wrongdoing. This goes all the way back to 2016. Remember those Dubai trips sponsored by the Guptas? AfriForum and their private prosecution wing are saying to the NPA, if you don't prosecute, we will. Are you or someone you know waiting for a road accident fund payment? The chairperson of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, SCOPA, Songezo Zibi, has outlined the committee's upcoming inquiry into allegations of maladministration, financial misconduct, and the misuse of public funds in the RAF. You remember he told us the same when last we spoke to him. So that process will begin tomorrow, and all those proceedings are going to be streamed live on Parliament's YouTube channel to find out exactly what's been happening at the RAF. Now, in the world view, Adam Gilchrist is going to tell us about a Tibetan storm on Mount Everest, around 1,000 people trapped. I think you heard that story in Eyewitness News. I'm one of those people who always struggles with these kinds of adventure stories because my brain wants to know what were you doing there in the first place. But 350 or so have been rescued so far, many more still missing. Dame Sarah Malali has delivered her first address as Archbishop Designate of Canterbury. She's pledging to lead with humility, compassion, hope. This is amid global and societal challenges. She is, of course, the first female Archbishop of Canterbury, the first leader of the Anglican Church community around the world who will be a female. And on this day, 1965, the Supremes released a single, I Hear a Symphony, a soulful track that showcased their signature Motown sound and quickly climbed the charts to become one of their defining hits.
702.
The newspapers.
KG is like, which one is that one? I'm not even going to play it.
We'll play it later.
Sisa Zulu, a very good
He'll
morning
figure it out
to you.
later. Good morning, Bongani. Welcome back.
Thank you. How good are you with your receipts?
The ones from the shops.
Anything you spend your money on, can you prove every single cent you've spent?
No, I'm very negligent.
I once knew a couple.
I throw them away.
They would keep all their receipts,
Yeah.
and what they would do is every month they would sit down. It didn't matter if it was for a can of Coke.
Oh, wow.
They would sit down and they would actually track their spend, and they said it helped them become financially frugal and responsible in ways they could never have imagined. And they did. I mean, they've been married for a very long time, and as far as I know, they still do it every month.
Yeah.
That's how disciplined they are.
Right. Taking a look at the international papers this morning, we'll start with South China Morning Post. And the authorities there are actually in Hong Kong, that is. They are trying to explore whether to introduce organ donation opt-out policy. So this is when you register to donate your organs and after you die, and then for whatever reason, you decide to change your mind. So this is what they're proposing. But health authorities are worried that because Hong Kong has one of the lower rates of organ donors than any developed economy, they're worried that people who are in need of organs won't get them as much as they need, because now somebody can register and then all of a sudden change their mind throughout the process. So they are exploring on going out to the public and talking to the public to find out whether this is feasible or not. So there's that worry there in Hong Kong.
I'd love to hear from people who've signed up for this kind of thing, right? Will you donate your organs when you go? Should they be viable for use for somebody else? Have you been a recipient of an organ? I'd love to hear from you. The front page of the Business Day, Lifeline for SA Mining. This is about the Trade, Industry and Competition Minister following through on a June cabinet decision to regulate exports of chrome as part of measures to clamp down on the illicit trade in the critical mineral. The front page of the Sowetan, Joberg stalls on Usindiso fire report 9 months on the metro entity's boards yet to act on the evidence that pointed to their failure, which led to the inferno. And the Citizen, will Mashaba run in Johannesburg? And of course, a picture of the Boks and their fans in London. I mean, playing at the Allianz Stadium. They might as well have played at, I don't know, Cape Town Stadium or Durban. But the Boks really could, Siya Kolisi's Boks could really make the claim of being the best team to ever don the jersey.
Yeah. EWN Business.
Fight with me and you lose your perks. Is that how you are when you disagree with someone, says Mutero? Why do you ask this question?
Well, players in India's data center industry, Bongani, say large US tech firms are deliberately withholding back on major deals. They say US technology companies are delaying their decisions to lease large data centers in India, being jittery from the recent souring of trade ties between New Delhi and Washington. Now, Managing Director of NTT Global Data Centers in India, Alok Bajpai, says the orders from big tech companies for large hyperscalers or data centers that consume vast amounts of computing power have taken longer than they usually do. Hyperscalers include Amazon, Microsoft and Google, are currently accounting for about 30% of India's data center demand, a share expected to rise to 35%. So this has been business as usual before the trade talks, and after the higher tariffs that were announced by the US, business has been much slower, and they're saying this is part of the problem. There's been a deliberate delaying of those business deals because of the fallout in trade ties between the two nations.
Goodness me. All right, let's look at your indicators. Where's the Rand?
17 Rand 23 against the US dollar. The Rand strong this morning at 20 Rand 20 cents against the Euro, 23 Rand 16 cents against the British Pound. Price of gold at $3,929 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,627. Brent crude at $65.46 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news now we go. Sfiso Zulu, road safety is an issue. Good morning.
That's right, Bongani. That's particularly in Mpumalanga, where the Community Safety MEC, Jackie Masia, is urging motorists to remain vigilant on the roads to prevent further crashes after 4 people died in the province. Officials say 3 of the victims were passengers in a sedan that collided with the light delivery vehicle on the N2 near Mkondo yesterday. Department spokesperson Moeti Musi says the cause of the crash is still under investigation, but reckless driving has not been ruled out.
Mpumalanga MEC for Community Safety, Security and Liaison, Mr. Jackie Masia, is once more appealing to motorists to be cautious and highly alert at all the time on the road. He says needless loss of life and injury can only be avoided if all motorists and drivers obey the rules every time they are on the road.
In KwaZulu-Natal, the Transport Department has reaffirmed its commitment to arresting foreign truck drivers operating without proper documents. The department says some of the drivers are behind the wheel of unroadworthy trucks, putting the safety of other road users at serious risk. Officials also say they've encountered incidents where implicated drivers have fled the scene. Provincial Transport spokesperson Dabezinhle Sibia says the department will now intensify safety operations.
We'll be intensifying the hashtag Nenzani La Ezweni campaign, working with the Department of Home Affairs, the Immigration Unit, the SAPS, the Department of Labour and Employment, as well as the Road Traffic Management Corporation and other agencies. Our focus is on strengthening the validation and verification of immigration and foreign drivers' documents.
Alleged underworld gang boss Nafiz Modak will be back in the dock at the Western Cape High Court today. Modak, along with 14 others, face 122 charges for various crimes, including murder, extortion, money laundering and racketeering. The alleged gang boss is also facing charges related to the murder of top cop Charles Kinnear. Carlo Peterson reports.
During previous appearances in this matter, Nafiz Modak launched scathing attacks on former high-ranking police officers Jeremy Veery and the now deceased Andre Lincoln. Modak claimed Veery and Lincoln were in cahoots with his underworld rivals, the now deceased Mark Liffman and Jerome Donkey Boyson, to curtail his move to take over security at Cape Town's nightclubs. Modak told the court the police were paid to constantly harass him and his family and to raid his home to confiscate firearms being used by his security firm. Prosecutors will continue questioning Modak about the charges he faces when the trial resumes today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And a 60-year-old man is in custody in Australia after he allegedly shot up to 50 bullets into a busy street in Sydney, wounding more than a dozen people. Police were called yesterday to where the alleged gunman was randomly firing shots from his property at passing vehicles and police. The accused shooter was taken to hospital and treated for minor injuries to the area around his eyes sustained during the arrest. No charges have yet been laid against the alleged gunman. A fine day in store for Gauteng with showers expected. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 29 and 30.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange. That's due to roadworks along this route. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North between Beyers-Naudé Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive. That's due to peak time delays.
The top story, the SAWA motorists have been urged to remain vigilant on the roads to prevent further crashes after 4 people died in Mpumalanga.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in Vereeniging. Vereeniging is situated on the banks of the Vaal River and is one of our most important industrial manufacturing centers in the country. Chief products include iron, steel, bricks, tiles, and lime. Several coal mines in the area supply coal to nearby Eskom power stations. An historic treaty was signed in Vereeniging in 1902, ending the South African War between the Boer republics and the then British Empire. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Vereeniging.
Move on to your ultimate vehicle. We Buy Cars makes it easy to find and hard to resist. From nearly new to reliable classics, there's something for everyone. Plus, their finance solutions are simple and affordable. Apply easily online or in-store. Selling a car? Get an offer at webuycars.co.za or visit them nationwide. We Buy Cars, the best way by far.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Morning, Bongals and team. 702 lenders. Happy Monday. What a great discussion. I think we really do need some form of assessment for these politicians. They've been lying to our face for a very long time. For me, I think maybe minimum NQ of level 7 as a national qualification framework. Level 7 that we can kind of use, and they need to really have some results or impact of some sort, that they have done in their past life, where we can be able to go and track that record and see if they really delivered something, because we struggle in that area. Decision making, some level of empathy to think that you are there because of the people, because that is really not there. They do not understand that at all, most of them. So I think some form of assessment would really do if it can be done. Thank you guys for a great show. Shadi, Kempton Park.
Morning team. Thank you for the great show. I think this action by Busa and the rest of the parties is headed in the right direction, because we have a very muddied political system right now. We do need some some coalitions that will take on the coalitions to be formed in the future. My only additive to the political discourse is to say, can we please impose the retirement age on our parliament? Because we cannot have people who are all likely to be dead in 30 years deciding the future of the country. They must retire, man. I know this is ridiculous. Mo from Pretoria.
Top of the morning, Mr. Bingwa and 702 lenders. We've clearly ran out of ideas for political configuration and social relevance and impact. These are minorities coming together yet still want to retain their identities. It's not gonna work. Either merge or submerge. Thanks for a great show, Tsepo in Boxburg.
Merge or submerge, says Tepper. What are we talking about? There's a new political formation. They're calling themselves Unite for Change, and it brings together Build One South Africa, as led by Musi Maimane, Rise Mzansi by Songezo Zibi, and Patricia de Lille's Good Party. And one of the questions we must surely ask is, how seriously do they expect voters to take them if between the three of them they can't decide who is going to be the Beyonce, who's going to be the lead of this thing, and who is going to be with the shoops in the background? Now, they're arguing, look, this is a focus on the local government elections. They're arguing that this has not much to do with the national questions just yet, and that's why, as a council of leaders, they will be in charge of the formation. They are focused very much on what happens next in the city of Johannesburg, for example. More broadly, we're asking, do you have a baseline requirement for leadership? Because often we like people who we think have done amazing things, and we think, oh, I want him for leader. Rassi Erasmus, for example, is a name many South Africans would say, yes, he could lead. He's shown that he can do amazing things. But again, just because you're amazing at rugby doesn't mean you're amazing at everything else.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, do you have a baseline for leadership? Like, what are the basic things, the basic ingredients that you want to put into your leadership recipe?
I think there's two styles of leadership. There's autocratic and democratic, and I think you will get results out of people if you are autocratic, but you might not have respect, and you might have people around you. I'm talking about like in a workplace where they're burnt out, they're stressed, they don't feel heard, they don't feel valued. You probably end up getting less out of people than if you're more democratic. You listen, you compromise, you take feedback on board. You know, even if you can't implement it, but even if you just say, I've heard you, and you almost show action that you are trying to make a difference, you are trying to change.
Can we talk about a sweet spot somewhere in between? Because you also don't want to lead by consensus where everybody has a view and nothing gets done, because we want to make sure everybody's heard. And whilst, of course, you don't want to bully and you know, sort of bulldoze the people that you lead, at some point decisions have to be made.
Yeah, so you do get styles of leadership where it's like my way or the highway. You can go and you can say, I would like X, Y, Z, and that person pretends to be listening, but they're not. There's no change. Whereas the other person will listen to you and say, look, I will try, and give you feedback, and they'll change what they can. And because they have changed what they can and taken maybe your feedback on board, and maybe, you know, change 2 out of 10 things, you'll be more willing to do something for somebody like that, because they themselves have shown that where they can, they will come right.
So they're part of the thing. I tell you what, where they can would have been nice in the Carling Knockout Cup. Drama there, hey?
Absolute drama over the weekend. So Sundowns are out. That was the first thing. And then yesterday, Kaizer Chiefs were knocked out. Yeah, hey? Yesterday, Chiefs lost to Stellenbosch on penalties 5-4 after a goalless game. Stellenbosch coach Steve Barker.
The effort the players put in, the commitment, the unity, the togetherness that they showed out there is exactly what we need to continue to do. You know, we do things our way, Stellenbosch way. We're a team that's difficult to play against, hard to beat, and I think we demonstrated that today. In terms of progress, we need to just find ways to create better opportunities to threaten the opposition goal more, but just really proud of the effort that the players put into this 120 minutes.
Are we still in? Pirates, that
you
is?
mean Orlando Pirates? Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Okay.
And the quarterfinal draw was done, and you're gonna play against Magesi. Stellenbosch will get Baruma Galant. Richards Bay against Durban City. Arrows face TS Galaxy. Manchester City beat Brentford 1-0 to move up to 5th in the Premier League thanks to Haaland's goal. Aston Villa's 2-1 win over Burnley is only their second win of the season. Everton beat Crystal Palace in stoppage time 2-1. Newcastle with a 2-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Wolves drew 1-0 with Brighton.
And who's at the top of the English Premiership?
Arsenal.
Oh, okay, thank you. I
Yeah.
just needed to hear that. Thank you.
I watched a lot of British media yesterday. You could swear Liverpool were ninth. The way Liverpool slipped to second by 1 point behind Arsenal. They were literally every sports commentator yesterday on Sky and BBC was talking about what's
This
gone
disaster.
wrong for Liverpool. I'm like, guys,
So early.
chill.
They haven't met you.
Just chill. At the Women's Cricket World Cup today, the Proteas up against New Zealand. Both sides going for a first win. Wicketkeeper Sanala Jafta says they have to bounce back from the 69 all-out against England.
I think when you look it up at how we went about things, we were a bit rushed. Probably from my personal side is when I went back, I was like, I don't think I was really present in that delivery I went out. Just being honest and say it wasn't a good day out and we take whatever we want, but we're not going to dwell on that. We're just going to say this is what didn't work, and we're going to say now we literally have another game. It's a long tournament. You can't literally ponder on one performance.
So far in the tournament, India the only unbeaten side. Springbok coach Rassie Erasmus says while his side did great defending their rugby championship title, he feels there's still loads to work on ahead of the end of year tour and the 2027 World Cup.
Well, I think we used close to 47 players and we gave a lot of guys chances. We also had to dig deep and guys who we thought that will play a lot for us was injured currently or didn't get enough game time. So I think if we played the same team the whole year, consistency might have been better and we might have had longer spells in games where it goes well.
And in the United Rugby Championship, the Lions remain winless after losing to Zebra 22-20. Zebra scored the winning try in the last 2 minutes of the match there. The Bulls and Stormers both top the table, having won their opening games. The Sharks in 11th with the Lions now 13th. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Years old and I go to Holy Rosary School for Girls. When I grow up, I would like to be a pediatrician so that I can help save the lives of young children. I am very excited, but a bit nervous to play the Whiz Quiz with you today.
Oh, don't be nervous. You'll be just fine. And look at what you're going to do for all those kids in the future, hey?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
All right, 14 to 7, the CWN traffic is brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 451442 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Delays on the N3 North. Amo, what's going on there?
That's correct, Bongani. That's due to roadworks taking place right near the Baklu interchange. Delays of about a 15-minute hold-up coming out of Marlborough Drive. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling on the Mark 1 North, we've got bumper-to-bumper delays already between Boyson's Road and Car Street, and heading towards Sandton. An accident has been reported on the Mark 1 North, right near the Greyston Drive off-ramp. Delays from Glenhove Road. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
You could spend 10 minutes waiting for the microwave to beep. Or get a 10-minute quote from Outsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. For his 2024 Suzuki Jimny, 55-year-old Stefan now pays only 611 Rand a month. And for her 2024 Kia Sonet, 31-year-old Palisa pays just 926 Rand a month. Ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. Outsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9. We're speaking to Investec. Their CEO, Kumesh Mudlia, will be in conversation with me, and we do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Great news, travelers! FlySF is now flying between Cape Town and Hoedspruit 3 times a week. So, whether you want to chase the big five in Kruger, soak up the views at God's Window, or wind through the beautiful panorama route, Hoedspruit is the perfect launch pad to some of SA's amazing natural treasures. Ready to go from coastlines to canyons in just a few clicks? Book flights now at flysafair.co.za from just 1,570 Rand. Fly Safair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by OUTsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer. You send us something you heard in the show that piqued your interest. WhatsApp us your name and an answer to 0702 702 1702. Then later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer and they will grab 2,000 Rand. SMS out to 45142 now. You could save on your car insurance.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Morning, Bongani and team. So, Bongani, on the issue of organ donation, what I would like to know is, can you choose who should receive your organs? So you say, in an event that I die, and my son, my daughter, my mother, my father, whoever needs an organ, then I'm available.
I doubt it works that way. I mean, the idea, of course, is you hope that none of your loved ones ever need that organ. I can see a scenario in which they do and you volunteer to give it to them if it's safe for you to do so. That, I'm sure, can happen. But I don't think as a rule you can just say only for those people. I think once you donate, and whoever needs them the most in terms of whatever waiting lists might be available, that's how that should go.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Up next, do we call him Unite for Change Musi Maimane, or is he still boss as Musi Maimane? He'll explain. Let's give away some cash in the meantime, shall we? We're playing today with 12-year-old Bukata, who wants to be a pediatrician later on in life and goes to the Holy Rosary School for Girls. Bukata, how are you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling a bit nervous, but I'm very excited.
Nerves are good because you know what they do? They help you to concentrate, hey?
Yes.
All right, good luck to you. KG, start the clock. True or false, Lesotho and Eswatini are both African kingdoms?
True.
Correct. What is the name of the largest national park in South Africa?
Pass.
The Kruger. From which country does the rice and fish dish called sushi come from?
Japan.
Correct. To which continent does the island country Taiwan belong?
Excuse me?
To which continent does the island country Taiwan belong?
Asia.
Correct. What do we call the star in our solar system that has planets orbiting it?
The sun.
Correct. Spell the word finance.
FINANCE.
Correct. How many minutes are there from 5 to 8 to 8:15?
10 minutes.
20 minutes. 20 minutes. And our 10 seconds are up. 10 seconds are up. Bukata, you walk away with 500 Rand. It's $100, remember, for each correct answer. You get all 10 right in 60 seconds, you win 10,000 Rand. You must be age 10, 13
of the
to play.
Quiz.
On 702.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
So news over the weekend, 3 political parties coming together, Build One South Africa, Rise Mzansi and Good, have decided to merge and form a new party they are calling Unite for Change. This is ahead of next year's local government elections. They say unity, collaboration and giving South Africans a credible alternative is their priority. But here's their thing. When pressed, the three leaders couldn't quite tell us who the top dog is going to be. And Bosa's Musi Maimane says it's really not even an issue at this stage. He joins us now. Dr. Musi Maimane, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
My great privilege. Good morning, and good morning to all the 702 listeners.
So am I talking to Unite for Change's Musi Maimane or Build One South Africa's Musi Maimane?
That's a very important question, because actually I think there is no law in South Africa that permits for parties to merge. So I think it's clear that the parties will remain independent in and of itself, in the sense that they will remain in parliament, they'll remain in legislatures, and so in many ways I still continue to lead BOSA and will represent BOSA in parliament, because people voted for BOSA to represent them in parliament. This is a particular, if you like, special purpose vehicle, a political opportunity that we want to put on local government. It's a pre-coalition pact that says, let's work together to bring South Africans together to contest elections. We're inviting more parties to come together. So in your earlier comment about whether who's going to be the leader, etc., you cannot pre-decide that until you've brought all South Africans in the room. There are multiple political parties we're engaging. There's civil society organizations that we're engaging. Because there's a moment where all of us feel like our towns are falling apart, the economy isn't working, and therefore ultimately we need to put something on the ballot that allows us to work together to bring the change.
All right. So if I understand you, you're saying this is not, strictly speaking, a political party in the sense of a registered entity called Unite for Change. It's a kind of broad umbrella that you are looking to accommodate various political parties, including your three, but others who may want to join.
Absolutely. And furthermore, let me furthermore say, of course, for anything to contest an election at a local government level, the IEC it'll have to be registered with the IEC.
That's where I was going.
Yeah, de facto, it will be a new registered political party. But what I'm saying is it doesn't nullify the existence of the first three or any other entity that comes on board, because there are certain people. Let's take a civil society organization that says, I want to work, I've got the best candidates. They may not want to be, they don't cease to exist. They simply will put forward candidates that will be able to contest a local government election. And I think, to me, it's a mature way of looking at politics that says, if you are in your ward, whatever your ward is in the city of Johannesburg, you don't have to be stuck with having to have a candidate from BOSA, from Good, from Rise, from everyone else. You simply can have one candidate who has been selected through a very rigorous process that allows the best to come through. And that candidate must be the one that is able to be voted for. Not only do we have a probability of winning that ward, but then what you also are able to do is to create a space upon which you can accrue the proportional representative aspects of those votes.
I'm sure you can fully appreciate one of the no-nos of public relations, and I think it applies in politics, is the need to over-explain yourself. If your message isn't simple, it likely means it isn't going to land. Voters may struggle with the idea of voting for such an entity when the clear hierarchy of leadership isn't explained to them, and with the possibility that you may all go back to your original formations. I mean, try and make us understand how that's all going to work.
No, I think especially at local government level, your first point of interface is your ward councillor and then your mayor. And I think let's simplify this thing. In all honesty, we must all be obsessed about who are the public representatives that live in our cities, that govern our cities. And so that is the offering we're putting before people. And we're saying to them, they'll fall under United for Change, and they can come together and they can vote for them. And then I think any leadership or any of that sort of work is only relevant in as far as what you think about when it goes to national elections post facto. But I think what the obsession must be now is to say, who's my best candidate in my ward and the best mayoral candidate for my city.
All right, let's talk about Johannesburg. Who's your mayoral candidate for Johannesburg then as Unite for Change?
We are working on that, and we're looking at a number of key individuals. We want to make the process transparent so that it's not someone who you've suddenly plucked out of nowhere, but we're really looking for the best competent person to be able to come and run the city of Johannesburg. And so that process is on the way, and we'll be announcing soon in terms of what that campaign will look like.
I posed this question to you. You may not remember. I did so to Songezo Zibi as well in the run-up to the general election last year. And I said, why aren't you guys working together and forming one thing? Whilst people may like you individually and some of the personnel around you, you don't have the depth of leadership that some of the more established parties do. And coming together in this way would give you that, neither if you were willing to do so at the time. Is that something you regret, perhaps, in hindsight?
No, I think national government is by nature proportional. It's purely proportional. And in that essence, I would argue that what Rise got, what we got, is a multiplication of that. Local government has a constituency-based model. So it almost forces us into a space where what would be the effective purpose of having a candidate from Rise, from Bossa, in one community? Let's rather find the best amongst the two or the three or the more communities, or the more in that same community to come and contest. So I think pre-coalitions are best before a local government rather than in the national government, because ultimately, then you can ultimately decide where the strength is, who the best is, and it's far easier to manage going into that. And I think that's a fairly effective way of doing it at a local government level.
How do you avoid factionalism, and these candidates from that party seem to be favored more than others? I mean, isn't this going to be at some point more like herding cats?
No, I mean, when I set out in politics, I always believed that we can bring South Africans together. So the first thing is let's align people on the basis of values, on vision, and what they deliver in local government. But the second aspect of the issue is that let's ensure that there's an independent panel of people that sits outside the structure so that it can select the best. If you want to produce integrity in the process and say that it's open, it's transparent, let the best people be nominated, then you have to be independent and show citizens that it's been fair. We don't have a pre-cooked model like in a typical political party where you would say, well, actually, no, here is your candidate and we're imposing it upon you. Let's allow people to be able to participate in that. And then lastly, I think local government is heavily regulated. Once you've established your list and those people work together, they form part of that entity and they will form that block within that municipality or metro and work from there.
I appreciate your time. Dr. Musi Maimane, Bossa leader, also now one of the members of Unite for Change. Are you convinced by his arguments that it's perhaps too early to talk about who's in charge? Let's talk about what's possible, particularly at local government level. Does this excite you, or are you rolling your eyes?
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Big interview focuses on yet another party, ActionSA, fielding a celebrity as its mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni. Will that work? And how much time will Diddy actually spend in jail? All of that to come after this Eyewitness News, brought to you by Khaliks. Khaliks, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is EWN.
Senzo Mchunu says he's prepared to tell his side of the story, but he's waiting on a call from the Madlanga Commission, and a new political party vows to prioritize skilled councillors. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu says he's ready to respond to allegations of political interference in the police service, but he's still in the dark about when he will be called to testify at the Madlanga Commission. Mchunu spoke to media in KwaZulu-Natal this weekend while visiting the home of late Ambassador to France Nathi Mthethwa. Mchunu, who has been placed on special leave, has been accused by witnesses at the Commission of being influenced by criminal elements to disband the SAPS Political Killings Task Team. He's also expected to address his relationship with controversial Northwest businessman Brian Mokgotsi. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, however, has distanced the party from Mokgotsi, saying he's no longer a member of the organization.
So Brian Mokgotsi, in a nutshell, is not a member of the ANC, and we'll never take him to the DC for anything. He must account for whatever he's accused of with whoever in the ANC he is accused to have had dealings with.
Newly formed political party Unite for Change says it will utilize merit-based selections when choosing councillor candidates. Unite for Change is a combination of three existing political parties, those being Rise Mzansi, Bosa and Good. The three parties announced yesterday that they were merging to contest the upcoming local government elections under one umbrella. Rise Mzansi National Chairperson Vuyiswa Ramokgopa says the party will be prioritizing capable, ethical and accountable public representatives.
The memorandum of agreement that has been signed by the three founding parties states that the National Executive Committee will also adopt a candidate selection model that prioritizes merit-based selections in respect of all candidate lists. The model will have an intense focus on getting people to stand for election as councillors who are from their community, who are known in their community.
Pro-Palestinian supporters in South Africa are once again calling for the release of all delegates detained by Israeli forces, including 7 South Africans. About 100 demonstrators participated in the Freedom Walk in Lenasia yesterday in solidarity with the global Sumud flotilla, passengers who were taken last week. The Israeli Navy stopped 45 vessels carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza, detaining more than 400 pro-Palestinian activists and politicians. Xolani Khumalo reports.
The international community has been up in arms over what some have described as an illegal interception. Many efforts have been put in to de-escalate the volatile region and bring about the restoration of peace. In recent efforts for a ceasefire, US President Donald Trump put down a 20-point plan, which includes the release of hostages in Hamas captivity and the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces. Back home, Palestine Solidarity Alliance's Firoza Mayet says the South African government must act decisively.
Well, our biggest goal right now is to release the South Africans that have been detained and all of the delegates. We are calling on South African government to stop the countries that are exporting coal to Israel and enabling the genocide.
Meanwhile, the International Relations Department has confirmed that the process of returning detained South African delegates is at an advanced stage. Xolani Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
At the same time, Palestinian militant group Hamas, Israel and the US are expected to hold talks in Egypt to work towards finalizing the deal that's based on US President Donald Trump's Gaza ceasefire plan. Despite a call from Trump for Israel to pause its Gaza offensive, the Israeli army has continued its bombing campaign, killing at least 24 Palestinians yesterday. Trump says he's confident that talks will go well.
We had some very good meetings. Countries of the world, a lot of the countries surrounding Israel, frankly, Muslim, Arab, and many others have had great meetings with Hamas, and it looks like it's working.
Gold is trading at $3,938.36 an ounce. The rand is at 17.23 to the dollar, 23.18 to the pound, 20.20 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $65.49 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North. This is between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange. That's due to roadworks along this route. While traveling on the Mike 1 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Boyson's Road and Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic because of peak time pressure along the N1 North between Beyers Nadia Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive.
A fine day in store for Gauteng with scattered afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. Johannesburg is at a low of 10 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria at 10 as well, and a high of 30. For Vereeniging, 11 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu says he's ready to respond to allegations of political interference in the police service, but he's still in the dark about when he will be called to testify in the Madlanga Commission.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
So picture this. You're in the office preparing a big presentation for that important meeting, and you accidentally spill coffee all over your crisp white shirt. Don't stress, because with the emergency shirt service from Khaliks, you could have a brand new shirt delivered to your office in no time, and all it takes is one phone call or a visit to khaliks.co.za. So next time you have a sartorial mishap, don't cry over the spilt milk. Get the emergency shirt service from Khaliks, because accidents do happen. Khaliks, for the businessman who knows what he wants.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock, so much going on in the news cycle in South Africa at the moment. The embattled Senzo Mchunu, police minister, I don't see how he returns to office. But this weekend, seemingly defiant, speaking to the media in KZN, really being quite defiant about the things that have been said about him. He's waiting for his own chance. He spoke mostly in isiZulu, so I don't have many clips for you to play, but really sounded a lot like that playbook we heard from one Jacob Zuma. And of course, if you take Sitembiso Msomi's account of it in the Sunday Times yesterday, Nathi Mthethwa, really pivotal to the return of Jacob Zuma when it was very clear he was facing the wilderness. I don't know if you followed the debates on social media around, and it's been a debate largely about culture and identity, has it not? So about a week or so ago, two in fact, there was a wedding that went viral. All the pictures were all over social media, and it was of a same-sex couple, two men, one of Xhosa origin and the other Umzulu, and they were wearing their traditional attire. And there's been a whole furious debate around, hang on, that's our culture, you're demeaning it. And of course, it speaks to the question of who really owns a culture. Can somebody who comes from a particular culture be said to be stealing it? Yesterday, there was a furious march to KwaMaimai, and if anybody knows KwaMaimai, it's this informal market in the CBD in Johannesburg, just under that Elof Street bridge. And there's a nearby single hostel where people come and braai. There's a shisanyama, liquor is sold. And a lot of queer people frequent that market, and it's kind of an unspoken thing. And yesterday things came to a head, but from what I can make out, the leadership of KwaMaimai and SAPS, as well as the Joberg Police Service Public Order Policing Unit, all made sure order was maintained and the situation didn't blow out of control. But I thought it was an interesting one to observe.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Matters perhaps a little bit more fun. Isn't Siyakolisi's Springbok side the very best? Not perhaps just to don the Springbok jersey, the green and gold, but perhaps the best rugby side ever. This weekend, of course, you'll know, they won a back-to-back rugby championship following back-to-back wins for the World Cup. Just think of how old you are going to have to be, right, to see any other country eventually match the Springboks record in terms of the number of World Cups won. And depending on which country you're from, you might never see it happen in your lifetime. I want you to listen to Siyakolisi speaking to the media in London ahead of that clash against Argentina at Twickenham's Allianz Stadium, sharing his thoughts on how South Africans view rugby perhaps differently from others.
We look at rugby differently to what everybody else look at. We play it, we live it, we think it, and we've got people around us that do the same. It's easy for somebody to look at the game you've lost. It's probably the end of the competition, but then we have to go a bit deeper and see why did we lose the game. What was working the 20 minutes that we stopped doing that got us there? So our mindset is completely different. Like we have to, at that moment it sucks. You think, it's difficult, but we never for a second give up on ourselves. That's not who we are as a team. That's not who we are as South Africans as well. I don't think we would have played if we didn't think we were going to win. We wouldn't go to a game like that. We go to every single game with the full new mindset, but we also would take the learnings of what we did from the game before. We take lessons from our losses, or we take lessons from our wins. The same thing, but we never get too far ahead, but we also don't beat ourselves down.
Here's other news that I think you need to know about. Robert Morris, there's a name, a 64-year-old who founded one of the largest mega churches in the United States, has even made it to President Donald Trump's Spiritual Advisory Council. Last week, pleaded guilty to a charge of the sexual abuse of a 12-year-old girl in Oklahoma. I want you to listen now to this report from NBC News about Robert Morris.
This has taken my entire lifetime to get here. People need to know who he is, that he came into our home as a pedophile,
disguised as a preacher.
The abuse began on Christmas night in 1982, Cindy says, when she was 12 and Morris 21. It continued for years. A secret Cindy kept until 1987, when she told her parents and church leaders, and for the first time last year, shared publicly.
He started by touching my breast and putting his hands in my pants.
Decades passed. Morris grew into an evangelical powerhouse, even serving on President Trump's Spiritual Advisory Council, at times alluding to past transgressions in his sermons.
Sexual temptation is an appetite of the flesh, and I developed an appetite before I was saved.
There is hope to come out of shame and to be whole again.
Isn't it amazing how it's the ones who pontificate the most about this kind of thing who are often guilty of it? What you need to know at this hour: a U.S. blacklisted Russian cargo plane has landed safely, but it was heavily loaded in Uppington, but departed empty, and it's raised suspicions about what it was here to dump in South Africa. South Africa is launching a new school of retail management and leadership course backed by the Retail Institute of South Africa and Regenesis Business Schools, and this is to raise standards in the retail sector. The idea is to professionalize frontline retail jobs. And some traffic in the Pretoria CBD is going to be disrupted today as an organization called the Soil of Africa marches from the old Patco depot in Marabastad to the Department of Home Affairs. And their protest aims to demand the unblocking of citizens' ID documents. Several major roads in the city will be affected, from Strubens to Hosimampuru to Sophie de Bruin, Bosman, Thabo Sehume, and Paul Kruger streets. And it was on the 6th of October, 1889, the American inventor Thomas Edison premiered Monkey Shines, the first motion picture filmed in what do they call it? Kinetograph, right? Kinetograph. It was an early movie camera created with his assistant, but basically the first movie ever screened was screened on this day in 1889.
702. Up next,
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
Quarter after 7, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by OUTsurance. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. And of course, remember, you stand a better chance of being selected for What's the Question if you have SMS'd out to OUTsurance and got yourself a quote. As I say, 45142 now. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. Amo?
Well, Bongani, there's a stop-and-go situation on the N3 North. This is between the Airlines interchange and the Baklu interchange. That's due to road works that are taking place right near the Baklu turn-off. Please be on the lookout there. Traveling in South Crest, an accident reported along Fort Drucker Road right near South Rand Road. It's causing delays. There's also queuing traffic on the R59 North between Nelson Mandela Avenue and Swartkopies Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 92. Your dog locked you out of the house again. Quite a tall tale. Fortunately, with the OUTsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The OUTsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion, getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. OUTsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove. OUTsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Betway is taking you to dizzying new heights in one of the world's most popular games, Aviator. Place your bets and watch the multiplier climb higher and higher. Pick the right time to cash out and stand to win millions on a single bet. It's all possible from the palm of your hand. Get way more only at Betway. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
Looking for your next car? We Buy Cars makes it easy with over 10,000 vehicles available for sale. So whether it's your season to upgrade or downgrade your vehicle, We Buy Cars has what you need. With over 10,000 vehicles for sale, you'll find a variety of cars, bakkies, bikes, boats, trucks, and more, sold at incredible prices. They offer convenient finance solutions through South Africa's most trusted banks, which you can easily apply for online or in-store. They have insurance solutions, warranties, service plans, and more, providing everything you need under one roof. So whether you're trading in or simply selling a vehicle, get an estimated offer within minutes online or at any We Buy Cars location nationwide. The entire process is quick and seamless. You can even sell within a day and get paid on the spot. So when you're buying or selling, We Buy Cars offers fast, simple, reliable processes. So visit webuycars.co.za today.
To celebrate 25 years of helping you live the Premier life, FNB Premier is giving you a chance to win a 14-day European tour experience and other cool monthly prizes. Open any FNB Premier account from September to 31 December 2025. Switch your salary, swipe or tap a minimum of 2,000 Rand per month for 3 months straight. Spend and win with FNB Premier. FNB, help changes everything. TCs and competition rules apply. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Right, I asked the question earlier, what's your baseline for political leadership for those that would seek political office? A familiar face on South African television, taking viewers into the heart of communities plagued by drugs and crime. Now, TV presenter Xolani Khumalo is stepping from the screen into politics. ActionSA has announced him as their mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni. He promises to fight corruption, clean up the city, and tackle the crime that has gripped the metro for years. And he joins us now on the line. Firstly, welcome to 702 Breakfast. Do I say congratulations?
Thank you, Bongani. Thank you.
You, of course, come to this candidacy with a very high-profile background, raids on television to high-profile court cases. Can a crime-fighting TV host take on a complex job such as being mayor?
I think South Africa is a country of possibilities, and when you put your mind into something, you can make it happen. And for the fact that the ActionSA has trusted me and believes in the work that I do, and they trust my capability and abilities to deliver what they stand for as an organization and what is required by the society and community of Ekurhuleni.
What are you offering the residents of Ekurhuleni?
Can you repeat that, please?
What are you offering the residents of Ekurhuleni?
The residents of Ekurhuleni need basics. So our aim is to fix the basics and make sure that we give them services that work.
Go ahead. What are you going to fix? What are the key priorities that you want to tell the people of Ekurhuleni only you with ActionSA can solve?
We have a 10-point plan that speaks to what we offer.
Go ahead. Tell us what's in the 3-point plan.
We know that, no, it's a 10-point.
It's a 10-point plan.
Yes. Residents need jobs. Residents need services. Residents need homes that will honor families. So we know that we want to upgrade informal settlement with service stands.
Xolani, let me put it to you this way. Almost every municipality, every town in South Africa, certainly every metro has exactly those needs. I'm asking you, what are the specific things you are offering the people of Ekurhuleni? What are those?
Ekurhuleni is infested by criminals. And criminality has become a lifestyle. Law and order is what Ekurhuleni is. If you can go to Tembisa right now, you will see that communities have gated themselves. They've created boom gates where there shouldn't be boom gates because they're afraid of criminals. So law and order is what is needed. Criminals must be afraid of the law, and the law must protect the people.
So how are you going to make sure that? How are you going to make sure that happens?
We're going to establish units within the EMPD that will tackle the drug syndicates, the gang, the illegal mining, because of those are the people that are terrorizing the communities, and they are bringing instability, and they are putting communities in a position where they are not enjoying their right to safety. So corruption is one of the reasons why these things are like that.
Talk to me about how you're going
That
to
is why-
generate the revenues needed to tackle all of Ekurhuleni's problems.
It is important to have a city that is investable. Number one, we need to revive Ekurhuleni. We need to make sure that the industrial section of Ekurhuleni is revived and is upgraded. We want South Africans or Ekurhulenians to be exposed in the local economy, and we plan to make sure that Danswat and Jimistin, because they are the industrial areas, they are revived so that it can be investable again.
Xolani, final question. What qualifies you uniquely to be able to take on this job?
I'm a citizen that has experienced these things. I know what is needed, and I feel like the fact that the country has supported me in the work that I've been doing in my own capacity and in the capacity of Mojala, it has shown that people do believe in me, and I am responsive.
Okay.
I respond to the needs of the people, and as I was running my foundation, people spoke to me directly. Mothers were crying, and we were there to assist. So it touches me a lot because of I'm also from the same background.
All right.
I've walked the streets of Ekurhuleni. I grew up around that community, so I know exactly what it needs.
All right. Xolani Khumalo, ActionSA's mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni. He got them on TV. Uzobatola from the mayor's office. Are you convinced?
702
The Big Interview.
with Bongani Bingwa.
He's one of the best essayists in the country, Bongani Madondo, author, theorist, contributing writer for the Sunday Times. The fall of a man once called the heartbeat of hip-hop. 3 months after being acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering, Sean Diddy Combs is going to prison. Sentenced to just over 4 years for prostitution-related crimes. In court on Friday, he apologized, begged for mercy, called his own behavior disgusting, shameful, and sick. But for many, the damage is already done. We spoke to Bongani Madondo, the essayist and theorist, about this some months ago. And here we are, Bongani. It feels like just the other day. It's a fall
Morning,
from
man. How you
grace.
doing?
I'm very well, man. It's a fall from grace. Few of us could have imagined P. Diddy begging for mercy. And here we are. How much time do you think he'll actually serve?
I think he'll serve, honestly, I think he'll serve not more than 30 months. He's been given 50 months, but I don't think he'll serve more than 2 years. I don't think so. Well, based on his behavior and so on, so. But let's talk about the sentencing. You know, was it fair? Was it adequate or not? I think it cuts two ways, and none of them are deeply satisfying. One, I still can't believe that this man was essentially found guilty for inviting and paying flight tickets, Bongani, for several adults to come and have fun at his property. That I can't believe. It's unbelievable. They left him off on more serious charges because they had no case. You know, so this is weird. It's like denying Denzel Washington the Oscars that he deserves for 25 years and awarding him one for Trading Day, a lame film. So,
Do you think much of hip-hop culture and perhaps more broadly African-American culture will rally around Diddy in this way because of exactly what you are saying? The more serious charges couldn't stick and they got him for things that are debatable, if you will?
I like the word debatable because that talks to a split. I don't think hip hop culture as a whole will rally around him. I think, and I don't think they'll be militating against him either. I think they are split. Let's talk about Black America. Black America is split on not only on these charges and the sentencing, but on the personality of P. Diddy himself. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, and he still has supporters. So I don't think he'll have like an overwhelming support, but I don't think he'll have sort of an antagonistic support as well.
What do you say? What do you think all of this has said about hip hop culture in terms of its core brand being about excess and invincibility, perhaps even a hyper masculinity? Is this all part of that picture, or are there questions hip hop culture needs to ask of itself?
Well, first we have to look at the place of Puff Daddy right now, P. Diddy right now in hip hop. Really, he is my and your generation. He is not really hot, even before they took him in. He's not really hot right now. He's not part of this generation. So so the values that he embodied, that he symbolized, that he lived, are the values of a bygone era, right? Still, hip hop by its nature, it's not only you use excess. I think I'll use performative. I think he symbolized an era of permissiveness that has no place today. I'm saying today in the wake of what? Of Me Too, in the wake of women coming to their own, in the wake of trans politics, in the wake of so-called woke culture. I don't think today any hip hop. If Puff Daddy was to come out today, I don't think he will have any space in today's culture.
That's absolutely fascinating. He already has become a has-been. Bongani Bingwa, appreciate your time as always. Essayist and culture critic on P. Diddy's time behind bars.
EWN Business.
Time now for business news. Mateo, it's a scary thing to become irrelevant in your own lifetime. But let's move on to other things. Trade and Industry Department making a bid to save the ferrochrome sector.
Yeah, Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Park Stau has actioned cabinet plans to regulate exports of chrome as part of measures designed to clamp down on illicit trade in the critical mineral. Government wants a 25% levy on raw chrome ore exports as part of efforts to rescue the beleaguered ferrochrome sector, which has bled jobs amid higher electricity costs. Now, Minister Dau kickstarted the process of placing chrome ore under export control by the International Trade Administration Commission. The move is part of a government-wide measure designed to improve the long-term viability and competitiveness of the chrome value chain.
They couldn't get them in the jungle, Muteo. They've got them on trade. US versus Vietnam.
Yeah, Vietnam's footwear exports to the United States plunged 27% in September to $611 million, marking the steepest decline among all sectors following the implementation of tariffs by the US. Textile exports also saw a sharp monthly drop of 20%, while shipments of phones and other components fell by 24%. You'll remember that major brands including Nike, Adidas and Puma have significant production and market presence in Vietnam, with Nike manufacturing over 50% of its footwear in that nation.
Let's talk about your indicator. Where's the rand?
Rand at 17 Rand 25 cents against the US dollar, slightly weaker at this hour. 20 Rand 22 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 19 cents against the British pound. Price of gold up 1.5% at $3,944 an ounce, closer to that $4,000 mark. Platinum at $1,620. Brent crude at $65.29 a barrel. More business after 8.
Straight to the news desk now. Swiso Zulu patrons were just there for a drink and then it all went pear-shaped. Good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Well, Gauteng police are now searching for gunmen behind the murder of 5 people at a tavern in Bronkhorstspruit. 2 people allegedly entered the establishment in Zitobeni yesterday and fired random shots while looking for a patron carrying a gun. The police's Brenda Moridili says 6 people were also injured during the botched robbery.
The injured patron, whose firearm was taken, will be charged with the contravention of the Firearms Control Act, Act 60 of 2000, for the negligent handling of his firearm. The Provincial Murder and Robbery Unit have registered cases of 5 counts of murder, 6 counts of attempted murder, and the Provincial Serious and Violence Crimes Unit is tracing the suspects.
ActionSA's Ekurhuleni mayoral candidate Xolani Khumalo is set to be sworn in as a councillor. The move is aimed at giving the former presenter of a drug bust TV program some political and legislative experience ahead of the upcoming local government elections. ActionSA currently has 2 vacant seats in the Ekurhuleni Council after firing 2 of its councillors for poor performance. Questions have been raised over the crime-fighting activists' lack of political and legislative experience. Khumalo has this morning detailed some of his plans should he become mayor.
We're going to establish units within the EMPD that will tackle the drug syndicate, the gang, the illegal mining, because of those are the people that are terrorizing the communities, and they are bringing instability, and they are putting communities in a position where they are not enjoying their right to safety.
Meanwhile, ActionSA leader Herman Mashaba believes Khumalo's zero public governance experience is not a major issue.
In another week or so, Xolani is going to be sworn in as a councillor. So by the time he becomes a mayor, he'll have a better experience than what I was subjected to. So when these criminals can run it, when this racist can run a municipality, I cannot see why Xolani cannot obviously do a much better job than what this criminal and racists are doing at the moment.
Unions have raised serious concerns about the future of South Africa's education system, warning of a growing teacher shortage that could affect learning quality nationwide. According to the Basic Education Department, South Africa will need more than 400,000 educators by 2030 to maintain a sustainable teacher-learner ratio. Unions have complained about overcrowded classrooms and increasing workloads, saying they've already led to widespread burnout and stress among teachers. NEPTOSA's Ridwad Ahmed says recent staff cuts of more than 2,400 teachers have only worsened the situation.
When you have an overcrowded classroom, you are unable to give effect to quality teaching and learning for every child within your classroom environment. And so this, in our view, also, have created a tendency of high absenteeism.
Stellenbosch University's Dean of Education, Professor Bongani Bingwa, believes technology can ease the pressure on teachers.
We really need to explore the opportunity that AI, provides for us. But that will mean the department needs to invest more on infrastructure, connectivity. We know many schools are not connected. So that will mean investing into connectivity, make sure that Wi-Fi is available.
And Chinese authorities have confirmed that they are in contact with more than 200 hikers who are stranded on Mount Everest. Heavy snow trapped hundreds of tourists trekking in the Tibetan Valley leading to Mount Everest's eastern face over the weekend at the start of an 8-day national holiday in China. The location is popular with tourists, especially during the so-called Golden Week holiday. Social media posts show tents buried in what one guide has described as unusually high snowfall for this time of the year, as rescuers guided tourist groups through blizzards around blocked roads. A fine day in store for Gauteng with showers expected today. The temperatures are at lows of 10 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 29 and 30.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South between the Baklu interchange and Corlett Drive. That's due to faulty traffic lights at the M1 and Corlett Drive. While traveling on the N3 North, we still have got bumper-to-bumper delays between the Kilulis interchange and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks.
The top story this hour, Gauteng police are searching for gunmen behind the murder of 5 people at a tavern in Bronkhorstspruit.
Running a business is tough. You need tools that just work. That's why more South African businesses are switching to Mac. At iStore, we make it easy with 4,000 rands in added value when you switch. That's 3 years extended warranty and remote tech support, leaving you to focus on everything else. Switch to Mac with iStore, your expert partner. T's and C's apply. Mac at iStore. Run smooth as business should.
Ready to lead the future of business? At Wits Business School, leaders don't just adapt, they define what comes next. Choose from a wide range of postgraduate programs designed to develop your leadership and strategic thinking skills. So whether you're looking to deepen your expertise or broaden your horizons, there's a qualification for you. At Wits Business School, ambition becomes leadership. Visit wbs.ac.za to find the program that's right for you. That's wbs.ac.za.
People are talking, everybody's talking, and they're saying it's time to make insurance great again. They said our low premiums were fake news. Wrong. We're putting customers first. We're gonna drain the insurance swamp. It's full of hidden fees. But when we clean it up, believe me, it's gonna be huge.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like her insurance.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Mr. Bingwa, and good morning to your 702 listeners. I think Xolani, man, he needs to get a vavavoom and to wake up and give us answers. How are the people of Ekurhuleni supposed to trust him to be their mayor if he seems so disinterested in answering your questions? This is a platform designed specifically for him to tell us what he's about. And for some reason, he's not interested. He wants you to force it out of him. No, Xolani, my brother, catch a wake up. This is Eugene from Soshanguve.
Good morning, Bongani, on this Monday morning that I'm already feeling so deflated. What is the plan? Don't tell us things that we know. Please, don't do that. Don't take us for fools. We are tired.
Morning, Bongani. I'm so not convinced with Xolani. It's almost as if he's being asked the questions that he has not prepared for, like the questions which are not in his script. Like it's taking so much time. It's like it's just giving us the basics. I'm so not congratulations to him, but I think he has a lot of work to do if he wants to pose a formidable opposition in the coming elections.
Morning, Bongani. My name'sake. I'm Xolani from Zooking. My name'sake. Sometimes leave well enough alone. He's good on TV, but that was not convincing. Yes, the passion might be there, but I don't think he was prepared for this interview. I don't think ActionSA prepared him for this interview. But let's see what happens. But it goes back to what you were saying. You could be good in one thing and the other not so great. But let's support him. Let's support him.
Morning, Bongani. Mornay here from Randburg. I say I'm not convinced with the ActionSA's mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni. I think to summarize how I feel, Tavern thought that glitz and glamour could save them, but I'm afraid it sounds like this guy's out of his depth.
Morning, Bongani Bingwa and his listeners. The interview, I think our Xolani is only the English that is not giving, right? Because I think he should have tackled on the issues of strengthening and capacitating the security systems, and then also how is he going to intensify? It's just the English. It's just the English one. Akiriona is not our mother tongue.
Is it? Do you think that was his issue? Because these were not hard questions. I mean, I didn't even get to the criminal cases he faced. Yes, he was subsequently acquitted, but that's something that will be brought up in the campaign season, I suppose. People are going to try and say, hang on, weren't you accused of such and such? That might have been a trickier question to answer. I don't know. All I wanted to know was, okay, what do you see as the key issues in Ekurhuleni? How are you going to address them? What are you going to do? How are you going to generate revenues so that there's enough money in the kitty to be able to do the things that you are going to do? Surely it's a lot more than just scaring criminals. I understand that matters. It matters to everybody. Everyone needs houses and decent housing and water and sanitation and infrastructure and roads. You could make that argument about any municipality or any metro in the country. I needed to know how and the what. Very simple questions. So what does all of this tell you about ActionSA? What does all of this tell you about Herman Mashaba as the leader of ActionSA, that's who they are fielding, a TV presenter who, to my mind, doesn't seem to quite have the nettle as far as what it would take to become Ekurhuleni mayor. Or if he does, he's got a lot of catching up to do between now and 2026.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by OUTsurance, your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first we'll give you 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, you can ask them for 500 Rand. I love it when the phones light up and we haven't even heard the answer. But let's go ahead and go to Itumeleng, who is in Western area. Itumeleng, please give us today's answer.
Hi, Khotman, 1889.
Aye, why now, Khotman? Khotman Yamang.
Khotman
No, the question is not when I was born, if the answer is 1889. Itumeleng, I'm told you've got a quote from OUTsurance.
Yes, I did quote.
Tamelaiti, how's 1,000 Rand for you? All thanks from OUTsurance and 702. If you're going to call me Khotman, I may as well call you Melaiti. All right, there we go. The answer is 1889. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, life is just becoming too easy for Orlando Pirates. Is it not? I mean, look at what's ahead for us in the Carling Cup after this dramatic weekend.
Look, I wouldn't get ahead of myself given that
True.
Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs lost. So it wouldn't be... anything can happen.
Sure.
Let's
see. No. Listen, anything can happen in sport, right? But if you're a Pirates coaching staff or supporters,
confident.
You want Chiefs and Sundowns out.
Right.
And out very early on.
That's it. So Stellenbosch knocked Kaizer Chiefs out yesterday, winning the penalty shootout 5-4 after a goalless game. Kaizer Chiefs coach Cedric Kaiser feels his side was the better on the day.
We were the better team for the 90 minutes and the extra time. They did everything they could. Unfortunately, we had even a chance to finish the penalties on having the winning penalty, but we missed it. Unfortunately, it's football, and we have to go take a rest because it's been a very tough 2 weeks, and regroup and for the next games.
Stellenbosch will now play Galant in the quarterfinal. Pirates got Magesi. Richards Bay will play Durban City. Arrows face TS Galaxy. Erling Haaland scored in Manchester City's 1-0 win over Brentford to move City to 5th. Crystal Palace suffered their first loss, 2-1 to Everton. Aston Villa beat Burnley 2-1. Wolves drew 1-0 with Brighton. Nottingham Forest lost to Newcastle 2-0 with media reporting manager Ange Postecoglou could be fired. At the Women's Cricket World Cup today, the Proteas are up against New Zealand at 11:30. Wicketkeeper Sanalo Jaft is expecting a tough one.
We saw the first game that I had, it was a high scoring day, and I think for us as a batting unit is to just literally just knuckle down and just bat. Don't think too much about the outcome, just take it one ball at a time. And I mean,
the Bulls and Stormers are both unbeaten after the opening 2 rounds of the United Rugby Championship. The Lions have yet to win. Zebra scored in the final minute for yesterday's 22-20 victory. McLaren defended their Formula One Constructors title. Despite Mercedes' George Russell winning in Singapore, Verstappen was second ahead of Norris and Piastri. There was drama between the McLaren drivers. Norris and Piastri made contact on the opening lap. MotoGP World Champion Marc Marquez fractured his collarbone when crashing out in Indonesia. The rookie Aldegur won the race. South African Brad Binder finished 4th, his best result of the season. In golf at the Sanderson Open, Garrick Higgo finished second, just 2 shots behind the winner, Steve Fisk. Had led for part of that tournament. And at the Alfred Dunhill Links in Scotland, Richard Sterney finished joint 3rd on 13 under 3 shots off the winner, McIntyre's pace.
You know how dangerous sport can be? I mean, like, he fractured his collarbone. As you're talking, I'm just, ne?
Well, okay, so, I mean, MotoGP is literally guys going 350 to 400 kilometers per hour on their motorbikes and coming off. And that and Formula One is possibly the highest danger. Speedways and danger, etc. The only comfort I take in all of it, and I mean, you saw him hit the gravel yesterday. He literally plowed shoulder first into the stones. But guys have lost fingers and legs and broken legs and all of that in MotoGP. But and I'm not saying that it's going to be fine, but it's actually quite interesting. Their entire kit, that leather that you see, is got airbags. So as they hit, all the airbags,
some cushioning.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's not great. It is sore, but you can break your collarbone in rugby. You can break your leg. You can break an ankle in soccer, a shin, etc. It's sport.
Sport can be a thing.
The reason these guys get paid so much is because they have such short careers, and there's a high danger aspect to it.
Risk.
Except like tennis.
Yeah.
Cindy Paluta, this new sport.
For the best marine migration, you go to KZN. For the best hiking trails, you go to the Drakensberg. For the best flower show, you go to Namakwaland. And for the best in investments, go to Nedbank. Earn up to 10.47% interest with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. For better returns, open an Electronic Optimum Plus account today. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Stamina Grow is a 5-in-1 supplement with amino acids, antioxidants, B vitamins, and other essential vitamins and minerals that help promote energy, well-being, immune defense, and mental vitality. Stamina Grow, 221 years of supporting Mzansi, ranked amongst the top 5 best performing multivitamin brands in South Africa. Stamina Grow. Grow for it. Not go for it, but grow for it.
Experience extraordinary with the new iPhone 17, 256 gig from Vodacom, Mzansi's winning 5G network. More delightful, more durable, and now available. Get yours on a 3 gig Red Core plan from $899 per month over 36 months, plus a free extended warranty. Be the first to get it today. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland with smart tech and striking design. It's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. There's a crash on the N1 North. Amo?
Yes, Bongani, that's in Fourways, right after Winnie Mandela Drive. It's causing delays coming out of Beyers Drive. While traveling on the N3 North, we still have got those roadworks taking place right near the Baklu interchange. Delays coming out of the Kirulis interchange. A bit of a stop and go situation there. And if you're traveling on the N1 South, leaving Centurion, do expect delays between the Brakfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. That's due to peak time delays along this route. And traffic lights are out of order at the M1 and Call It Drive. They're also out in Rand Park Ridge at the N1 and Beyers Drive. Please be on the lookout and continue driving with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance.
Grand!
Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights.
Grand!
Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby.
Grand!
It's even got massage seats.
Grand!
Visit opel.co.za for more.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 1889, let's go to Gerald in Bloemfontein, of all places. Gerald, what's the question?
Good morning. The question is, in which year on this day was the first movie screened by an American inventor called Thomas Edison?
Yes, indeed. Isn't it amazing? It was not exactly what you and I would call a movie today, but it was the first motion picture. And I think that's absolutely fantastic on this day in 1889. Gerald, you've won yourself 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Congratulations. Now, 54-year-old Amos isn't one to miss out on a bargain. So when Outsurance gave him a premium of only 1,004 Rand a month for his 2024 GWMP series, it was a no-brainer. And 55-year-old Andre jumped on the deal when OUTsurance gave him a premium of just 776 Rand a month for his Toyota, his 2024 Urban Cruiser. So, ready to get more out of your car insurance? SMS out to 45142 today. That's out to 45142. OUTsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
This ad just got your attention. Imagine what Prime Media could do for your business.
As South Africa's leading media company, Prime Media connects you to the best audiences across radio, digital audio, video, and display. And now, at the Prime Impact Sales event, you can experience it firsthand.
Happening in Joberg, 3 to 7 November, and Cape Town, 10 to 13 November. Register and get a free demo commercial.
Plus, a custom campaign and access to an exclusive annual partnership.
Seats are limited.
Register today at primeimpact.co.za.
At the heart of the global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters now more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Mr. Govender, congrats on the retirement. You just sold your car to WeBuy Cars. Tell us about it.
Yes, it just gathered dust in the garage, so I exchanged it for cold hard cash. Now my wife and I can enjoy a stress-free retirement.
Retiring the car as you retire. Nice. So why WeBuy Cars?
It was so quick. They came over to our house to do the evaluation, and we sold it the same day. Tops, man.
Okay, so now you got even more time on your hands, eh?
Exactly.
WeBuy Cars. Geared for your next chapter. Geared for you.
You could spend 10 minutes trying to fix the office printer, or get a 10-minute quote from OUTsurance that could save you thousands on your car insurance. SMS out to 45142. Like 65-year-old Helena, who now pays an incredibly low 398 Rand a month for her 2025 Hyundai Extra. With OUTsurance, you get the legendary Out Bonus that pays you a percentage of your premiums back if you're claim-free. SMS out to 45142. After switching, 48-year-old Felicity now pays only 836 Rand a month for her 2020 Hyundai Tucson. OUTsurance will either save you money on your car insurance or give you cash. If OUTsurance can't beat what you're currently paying, ask them for 500 Rand. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you have nothing to lose. SMS out to 45142. That's out to 45142. OUTsurance, licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
Right place, wrong time.
I mean, I wonder if this has ever happened to anybody, because I looked at this video and I thought, is it a setup, one of those kind of, we want attention videos?
Yeah.
But it looks really, really authentic. So apparently on your phone, you've got the alarm and a timer. And this mother, instead of, doing the usual alarm, sets a timer on the phone to wake them up in the morning at their usual time, which is 6:30.
Oh, shit.
And the alarm goes off, so she gets up and does her normal routine, goes to each of the kids' rooms, get them up, get them changed for school, feeds them. Then the father comes through and he's like, what's going on? Why are you up so early? And they're like, what? Then they realize that the alarm went off at 2:30 in the morning. Shame. And she's got the kids dressed, she's got the kids fed, and these poor children are just... they look exhausted, but they see the funny side of it as well. Then they went back to bed in their school clothes and slept until 6:30 and then got back up and went to school. So let's talk about your mishaps with your alarms and getting up at the wrong time, maybe even the wrong day. It can happen. So let's hear those stories this morning, Bongo. So you've either set the alarm or you thought you set the alarm for the time you wanted to get up.
Yeah.
You either set it too early or too late, or you got up on the wrong day of the week, i.e. a Saturday or a Sunday, thinking, I've got another day at the office.
Has it ever happened to you? I know for many years you worked on this show, Kabazela. and had to get up at the crazy hours one is required to. Did it ever happen to you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had set the alarm for the correct time, but I just completely overslept. And that was once, only with my 7-year journey with John Robbie. You didn't want to be late on that show. But then I have done it with golf, where I thought I'd set the alarm for early on a Saturday, my normal time at 6, and luckily I woke up at around about 7 and managed to get to the tee box just in the nick of time. So,
I can tell you for sure, nothing's changed. You still don't want to be late for this show. I can promise you that. But that's what's gone viral with Kabazela. Have you ever, woken up at the wrong time because you set the alarm incorrectly, either very early or very late? Tell us your stories.
702 Feedback with Rupfiwa Kone.
Would never happen to you, Rupfiwa, right?
Bongani, this show will give you so much anxiety, Bongani. It has happened to me. It happened to me once, and it was in the beginning when I started working with this team. I had so much anxiety at the time. I couldn't fully fall asleep the way I could. But one morning I woke up. It was 23:30, which is 11:30. I didn't see the first 2. I thought it was 03:30.
You thought the
Bongani,
2 was a
I
0.
woke up. I took a bath. A full bath. At 11:30. And then I came out and I'm about to get dressed. And I answer my husband with attitude. And I'm like, hey, can't you see that I'm late? Because
he's asking where you're going.
Where are you going so early in the morning? I'm like, can't you see that it's 3:30? He's like, Mama, relax. It's 11:30. It's 11:30. Where are you going? And that was me, having bathed and everything.
Oh, but
I had to try to go back to sleep, only to wake up at 2:30 to bath again. And
why
come
would you
to
bath
work.
again?
Because now I could have slept and you're already you got that warm thing. Bongani, yeah.
Why would you bath?
That's my story right there. 702 breakfast.
Guys. All right. What other feedback do you have?
Bongani, well, listeners are buzzing with your conversation with Xolani Khumalo, the man who went from street justice to chasing political
Also,
justice.
Batal, is he going to get them?
Asas Bongani, because many are wondering, can the same energy that exposed wrongdoers on camera fix potholes, manage the city budgets, unite a divided council? Because to be honest, Bongani, Ekurhuleni needs more than just guts. It needs governance as well.
So let's let the audience in on a little secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
The presenters, whether you're on radio or television, particularly in a current affairs type of show, get all the credit. But who does all the work?
I don't want to.
It's the producers.
But yeah.
So the fact that a guy is on camera trying to catch the criminals, he likely is not the one who identified where the drug den was. He didn't arrange the police to come and arrest these people or the escort. He didn't book the crew. All of that's work that goes to the production team. That's why they're there. So quite often we get all the credit because that's who you hear speak. But actually, who does the hard work, the hard slog?
Producers.
Look at you.
Yes,
Look at you. Yes.
Well, Bongani, also listeners are actually telling us what they want in a leader. They are saying, forget the empty promises. Give us someone with brains and a backbone. At the very least, they want a leader with a master's degree, someone who can dig deep into a problem and fix it. A bonus points if they've already served as a counselor or have held a real leadership role. And then the clincher is that they must live in the community.
All right, I will go for the triple B, the backbone, the brains, and the bachelors. I think a master's would be a nice one. I don't think you have to have one. What's your baseline for people who would seek political office? More after 8.
This is EWN.
Members of Parliament prepare for final touches ahead of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's testimony, and researchers are exploring if rooibos could help in treating breast cancer. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will meet with the evidence leader of Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption today for a final consultation before he gives testimony tomorrow. Mkhwanazi will give evidence to the ad hoc committee inquiry for 2 days, but will receive final briefings with evidence leader Advocate Norman Arendse before he faces members of the committee. Arendse says Mkhwanazi needs to be consulted about the different approach the committee will take as compared to the Madlanga Commission, where Mkhwanazi has already appeared. Babalondenze reports.
Advocate Norman Arendse told the committee on Friday that all plans are in place for the first interaction with Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to interrogate the allegations of corruption in the criminal justice system that he made at a press conference in July. He said the legal team was still finalizing witness statements due to some delays in getting documents from witnesses. Today, Arendse will make final arrangements with Mkhwanazi before he takes to the stand to explain the different approach the committee will take when leading evidence.
So there will be differences, Chair. We will be having a further consultation with General Mkhwanazi on Monday to discuss some of these differences with him so that he's not caught by surprise.
Parliament also says it's ready to conduct the hearings at its Good Hope chamber and security will be beefed up for Mkhwanazi's appearance. Babalondenze, Eyewitness News.
Newly formed political party Unite for Change says it will utilize merit-based selections when choosing councillor candidates. Unite for Change is a combination of three existing political parties, those being Rise Mzansi, Bosa and Good. The three parties announced yesterday that they were merging to contest the upcoming local government elections under one umbrella. Rise Mzansi National Chairperson Vuyisa Ramokgopa says the party will be prioritizing capable, ethical and accountable public representatives.
The memorandum of agreement that has been signed by the three founding parties states that the National Executive Committee will also adopt a candidate selection model that prioritizes merit-based selections in respect of all candidate lists. The model will have an intense focus on getting people to stand for election as councillors who are from their community, who are known in their community.
Pro-Palestinian supporters in the country are once again calling for the release of all delegates detained by Israeli forces, including 7 South Africans. Demonstrators participated in the Freedom Walk in Lenasia yesterday in solidarity with the global Sumut flotilla passengers who were taken last week. The Israeli Navy stopped 45 vessels carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza, detaining more than 400 pro-Palestinian activists and politicians. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
The international community has been up in arms over what some have described as an illegal interception. Many efforts have been put in to de-escalate the volatile region and bring about the restoration of peace. In recent efforts for a ceasefire, U.S. President Donald Trump put down a 20-point plan, which includes the release of hostages in Hamas captivity and the gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces. Back home, Palestine Solidarity Alliance's Firoza Mayet says the South African government must act decisively.
Our biggest goal right now is to release the South Africans that have been detained and all of the delegates. We are calling on South African government to stop the countries that are exporting coal to Israel and enabling the genocide.
Meanwhile, the International Relations Department has confirmed that the process of returning detained South African delegates is at an advanced stage. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
And researchers at Stellenbosch University are investigating whether rooibos extract could play a role in treating breast cancer, with early lab results showing promising signs. Initial tests suggest that rooibos may slow the growth of estrogen-driven breast cancer cells. However, scientists caution that the research is still at an early stage. Senior biochemistry lecturer at the university, Dr. Nikki Verhoek, says while the findings are encouraging, rooibos is not a substitute for medical treatment.
What this research is doing is testing its safety, specifically in women with estrogen-sensitive breast cancer. For now, rooibos can be part of a healthy lifestyle, but it should not be seen as a replacement for medical treatment.
She says preclinical studies are scheduled to begin next year.
The plant material used to make extracts originates from the Joberg area where rooibos is indigenous. For everyday use, ordinary rooibos in tea form are found on supermarket shelves, and it remains a healthy antioxidant-rich drink.
Gold is trading at $3,928.81 an ounce. The rand is at 17.26 to the dollar, 23.20 to the pound, 20.22 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $65.29 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N1 North in the Fourways area. This is due to an accident right after Winnie Mandela Drive. It's causing delays. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 South between the Braakfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road due to peak time delays.
And in your sport, the Proteas won't play New Zealand in the Women's Cricket World Cup today at 11:30. Arsenal tops the Premier League. Yesterday there was victory for Man City, Villa, Newcastle and Everton. And Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs are both out of the Carling Cup.
A fine day in store for Gauteng with scattered afternoon showers and thunder showers expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 30 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour, KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi will meet with the evidence leader of Parliament's ad hoc committee investigating police corruption today for a final consultation before he gives testimony tomorrow.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Remember, of course, there are two parallel processes. 8 after 8, welcome to the show if you're just joining us. For weeks now, many South African eyes have been glued to our television screens watching the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into allegations of nefarious activity within our law enforcement. Parliament is belatedly investigating themselves, and they're following up on the allegations made by Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And the ANC is obviously under the spotlight here in many respects. On Saturday, the Secretary General Fikile Mbalula was speaking at a media briefing at the Birchwood Hotel in Ekurhuleni. There, the party is holding its special NEC meeting, and he was asked about the associations that have been alleged between party leaders and one Brown Mokgotsi. Have a listen.
We're being shouted about Brown Mokgotsi. Who's this guy? He speaks about the ANC like he's a trident. He even sent me a message here. He sent me a message. I don't know where does he get my number. I don't care. I won't respond to him. He's not a member of the ANC. He's not. To answer your question, Brian Mokgotsi is not a member of the ANC. It took me time to go to the records. I went to the branch, even the province. He's not a member of the ANC. He's just going up and down, perambulating among leaders and his proximity. He's not a member. The things that he does and he's proclaimed to have done, he's doing them on his own by impressing few leaders of the ANC who want to be impressed by him. It's got nothing to do with the movement.
I'm here for perambulating. Hey, Muteo, do you know how to perambulate?
No.
Perambulating. So here's the thing. If he's not a member of the ANC, as Fikile Mbalula suggests there, doesn't it say even more about the party that he had that much access, that much influence, organizing people's tables, getting them flights to come to ANC events? Hey? But he could perambulate, couldn't he? I'll tell you who else can perambulate. Japan, it appears, is about to have their first female prime minister. Have a listen.
Over the years, she's built a reputation as a hardline conservative, a hawk, and someone who idols former UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. And just like Margaret Thatcher, Sanae Takaichi is in line to become the country's first female Prime Minister. That still needs to be approved by the Parliament. An extraordinary session will be held for that decision. It was only a year ago that Sanae Takaichi narrowly lost out on the party leadership to the current Prime Minister, Shigeru Ishiba. Back then, there was concern she was too conservative for mainstream voters. She's still pushing some conservative ideals. For instance, married couples in Japan can't have different surnames. But for the past few months, Sanae Takaichi has been softening her public image. Her main priority will be addressing inflation.
James Ocean, ABC's North Asia correspondent, giving us that report. Sanai Takaichi set to become Japan's first female prime minister. So essentially, she was elected the leader of the ruling Liberal Democratic Party, elected as its new leader, and therefore every expectation is that she will perambulate into the premier's office. Just for kicks, to perambulate is to walk leisurely, to take a stroll, a casual walking yana. Nje naile walk. When they say naile walk, you are perambulating.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
You're going to love Fikile Mbalula. Hey, he's giving us a new word. Come on, Muteo. Hey?
What was his first word? The other one?
I can't remember. There's a new one every time he speaks.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
So, have you ever perambulated? No, that we got from the two brothers, one of the Pahad's brothers, I think it was Aesop, who gave us that one. Of course, quoting classic Marxist theory. But Muteo, have you ever perambulated too early or too late for an appointment because you misread your timer or the alarm?
Yes, I was actually on assignment. I think it was last year when I went to Atlanta. I was supposed to do a crossing for the breakfast show. You still hate me.
I do.
So South Africa, I think Atlanta's 6 hours behind South Africa. So
Yeah.
I woke up at midnight and I thought, oh well, I'm still early. Let me still sleep in a bit more. But I was actually on time when I woke up at midnight because, I mean, their 1 a.m. is our 6 a.m. So Clive called me to say, dude, where are you? We need to do this crossing. And I realized then that I shouldn't have slept. I should have stayed up, but at least he made time for me.
You were too busy perambulating all over Atlanta. I hate you. Amo?
Something very similar to Rafi was happened to me. I thought it was 3:30 in the morning, which is already late for me to wake up because I must wake up at 3 a.m. every morning, right? I woke up I thought it was 3:30, but it was 12:30, right?
Ooh.
Then I took a bath, I got dressed, and then I say goodbye to my husband, and he says, no, it's too early. It's not time for you to be going to work. And then I check the time. It's actually now only 2:30 in the morning. So
It took you 2 hours to get ready.
Yeah, it takes me long to get ready. I don't know why. It's not that I'm doing a hectic things like makeup or whatever, but it takes me
2
long
hours.
to get ready. Then I went back to bed.
Muteo, how long does it, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning, how much time does it take you to get ready?
The worst could be 30, 40 minutes if I'm really being slow.
Oh, guys.
And unlike
2
Rafiwa, I
hours.
didn't take another bath.
We also need to talk about the trauma of the job that we do and the time
Yeah.
we have to be here. I mean,
Right?
I've woken up on a Saturday like in a cold sweat.
And gone. Oh, okay. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Talk to us about your alarm mishaps.
You're with Bongani Bingwa on 702.
Taking your calls on 011 883 0702.
All right, let's take some calls because, we still do all of those. Let's talk now to, I tell you what, KG, I'm going to have to ask you to pick it up because it's on line 12 and I'm not seeing that. It's Colin, is it? Good morning, Colin.
Hi, Bongani. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. You want to
Yes,
talk
you
about
know,
the
I'm
would-be
not
mayor of
convinced.
Ekurhuleni.
Yes, I'm not convinced. I'm answering your question. I'm totally not convinced. I memean, for a party whose name starts with action, there's no action plan. You asked him very simple questions. I mean, if we did a role play and you were asking me, as a future mayor, I would have had, without being prepared, a much more better, concise answer for you. Because there's a difference between planning and strategy. He's giving you plans. Plans is where you make a list of things that you need to do. And how are you going to do it? He should be much more prepared. Like if you tell me how will I sort certain things out, I'll tell you right away. Listen, let's look at IME scanning, for example. If you drop the crime, let's put it in a certain area as a pilot. Let's scan these cell phone numbers and check without implicating on the Poppy Act. This is standard. You can just check which criminals are in a certain area when crime is being performed. Or the cars, the taxis. I mean, let's look at how we can, if a car is not properly designed to be on the road, let's take them off and let's even get a plan to fund the person whose taxi needs to be repaired. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we saying just take the taxis out and impound them. Let's put a plan together. Let's take the taxis off. Talk to the taxi driver and say, listen, you need to get 5,000 to fix this. Let's get a loan for you to get the 5,000. We fix it. We get it back on the road. I mean, there's no plans. He's not giving.
Yeah.
He's not giving a proper strategy.
Do you remember,
can't.
Do you remember
He's
when
not
we
ready.
spoke? And I'm not suggesting for a moment. I'm not speaking for her or on behalf of her. But remember when we spoke to Helen Ziller just a couple of weeks ago? She said, I've gone to all these City of Joberg entities. I've looked at their budgets. I've analyzed their budgets. I've looked at the things that she could identify figures. She could give, statistics about. Not quite.
No, it looks like if I hear that interview, even I can run for mayor and I'll do a better job. I mean, you were very. I mean, I saw your questioning. You were just softening, and even you couldn't do that. Imagine if you turned it up a pace and went to full speed. Bongani, he would have been finished.
Colin in Centurion, could he be mayor of Ekurhuleni?
Morning, Bongani, morning, South Africa. So I also agree with the other lady that just sent a voice note that I think it's the English. We've heard him on his shows. It's not that of a politician. He's also probably not yet a typical politician in how he speaks, and I think that he was probably struggling to express. But one thing for sure, we know he's a doer. We know he's an implementer. He makes things happen. And he's probably going to grow to be one of those politicians where the promises are not in the mouth, but are in the actions, where we're going to see him through his work. He might not be as well spoken as a typical politician that uses big words or maybe ability to express himself yet. He's going to be groomed into it, I believe. But I promise you, I've got so much trust into it. I've got so much trust to him that he will make it work through implementation. Nams in Brakpan, have a good day. Bye.
Morning, Bongani. Bongani, Ekurhuleni doesn't need a good English-speaking leader. We need someone who's willing to fight corruption, to fight crime, and build the metro back again to its feet.
All right, he would be the mayor of Ekurhuleni. We do need some kind of baseline for leadership, do we not? Because if we don't, we're going to get lots of promises, lots of fanfare, and I'm not one who believes that celebrity necessarily means you'd be a good leader.
EWN Traffic.
18 after 8, the Eyewitness News brought to you by Outsurance. SMS out to 45142 now. And you could save on your car insurance. If you don't, ask them for 500 Rand.
Well, Bongani, we've got delays on the M1 South between the Baklu interchange and Kola Drive. Faulty traffic lights are causing these heavy traffic volumes, so please be on the lookout there while traveling. On the N1 South in Bryanston, we've got an accident near Winnie Mandela Drive, delays from Rivonia Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the lady on her way to work, listening to a love song on the radio. She's recreating the music video in her mind with herself as the leading lady. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a concert on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
20 after 8, it was billed as a mission of mercy. But last week, as you will know, Israeli forces interrupted the global Sumud flotilla, a convoy carrying humanitarian aid to Gaza. But a number of activists were seized, including 4 South Africans, among them Nelson Mandela's grandson, Nkosazana Mandla Mandela. President Cyril Ramaphosa has condemned that interception. He's calling it a violation of international law and has demanded their immediate release. He's also called for Israel to free all of those detained, including children and political prisoners, saying peace cannot be built on the suppression of human rights. To get an update on that and one or two other issues, we've invited Crispin Peary, always available to speak to us, from the Department of International Cooperation, DIRCO, right? International Relations and Cooperation. I always get it. It's quite a mouthful. Crispin, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Firstly, let's get an update on our 4 citizens detained by the Israelis. Do we have any new information on how and where they are?
Thank you, Bongani. It's 6 detainees. Mandla Mandela, Nkosmandla Mandela, Caroline Shalva, Dr. Zaire Musamua, Dr. Fatima Hendricks, Riaz Mullah, and Dr. Zugisa Warner. So I think I've seen a number of reports where they've been fluctuating a bit, but it's actually 6. We have sent a team to the Israel prison facility yesterday, and they were able to meet with the flotilla activists, and the report back that we've received from our team, which comprises of specialists between legal and also members of the consulate, is that they are in good spirits. There are some who are taking medication for various ailments, and that medication is in order, but there's also attempts to ensure that they do not run out of that critical medication. From where we are currently, Bongani, we do understand that they have seen a judge already, so the deportation administrative processes have been completed. We are now waiting for the logistical confirmations of when and which border they would depart from.
All right, so essentially they were intercepted, they were detained, and now they're going to be sent back to their countries of origin. How does DIRCO deal with something like this? Because obviously they're not acting on behalf of the South African government. They are our citizens. But how do you deal with what is essentially, I mean, I do think the Israelis have a point about this being, I suppose, an attempt to drum up publicity, to pay some attention to the issues they are raising?
Well, that is entirely debatable because, of course, in terms of the provisional measures of the International Court of Justice judgment, they are required to ensure that they do not prohibit any access to humanitarian aid. And these individuals were bringing humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. And we know that the Israeli regime are using starvation as a tactic. So this, it's debatable whether they had the right to intercept them, but we are here now. It's a very complex discussion that we are having, and we have to apply diplomacy at its highest level to ensure that, firstly, we comply with the administrative processes in terms of Israeli law, because these individuals are now in the custody of the Israeli authorities, and then also to ensure that we really attend to the logistical arrangements to ensure that they are properly processed, and to this end to ensure that they arrive in South Africa. And of course, this requires various levels of dexterity from our side.
Who pays for them to come back?
They would be able to pay for themselves where necessary, but this, of course, is individual, so it's not necessarily the government that would pay for this at this point in time. But should their need arise where there's a citizen that is completely stranded, as you would have seen in other instances, government is able to make the necessary means and call upon South Africans where possible, patriotic South Africans, to assist.
Whilst, of course, one understands and perhaps even lauds their activism, that aid was never going to get into Gaza, to be clear. Crispin, while I have you, let's get an update on a matter entirely different now. The former ambassador to France, Natim Tetwa, what's the latest on that? As far as I understand, the family yet to be given his remains. There's no clear indication of when he might be repatriated. What information can you give us at this stage?
The family have confirmed publicly that they have received the death certificate, which now enables the repatriation processes to begin in earnest, because now it's confirmed that the ambassador has departed and we have official documentation. Then what is also still outstanding is the post-mortem administrative issues, and we do understand that it's anticipated that this would be concluded hopefully within this week. And then from there, we would be able to make, in conjunction with the family, the necessary announcements around the funeral arrangements and memorial services that may follow.
All right. At this stage, no confirmation what level of funeral he might get?
At this stage, not as yet. That is an announcement that the presidency would make.
All right. Crispin Piri, always a pleasure to have you on the show. DIRCO spokesperson weighing in on that flotilla, and, of course, Natim Tetwa.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
Staying with news from elsewhere in the world, Adam Gilchrist, a very good morning to you. These desperate attempts to save people stuck on Everest. I can't think of anything worse.
It sounds chilly, doesn't it? This time of the year, even although October is meant to be a benign month, and also it's a month of holidays in China, so Chinese national holidays, which means there are more Chinese, more people generally to do the hiking and the climbing and the trekking. And so we know that when the weather suddenly changed, as it can do over any mountain, but in particular in the Himalayas, the weather suddenly changed and they got a blizzard, and people talk about waking up with a meter of snow around them and tents collapsing. So we know that at one stage it was thought to be about 1,000 people were stuck in various campsites and tents and other makeshift areas on the eastern slopes of Mount Everest. Several hundred have been rescued. Several hundred have also made it out themselves, but it's thought at least 200 people are still up there, not necessarily at the top, but somewhere on the eastern slopes of Mount Everest who need rescuing. And so local villagers, rescue teams, etc., trying to reach them and reach them quickly because it is cold and dangerous.
Adam, now, wouldn't you like this to happen to you? The happiest of accidents for a Chilean office worker.
Yeah, hasn't happened to me yet. Has it happened to you?
It'd be lovely. Wouldn't it be lovely?
Well, sort of, except I think your law is probably similar to our law in that if you were accidentally paid too much, it's probably not your money. You can't spend it. In Chile, they've taken a slightly different approach. So this guy normally gets the equivalent of about 9,000 rand a month as an office assistant at a food company in Chile. 9,000 rand a month. One day, one May, 3 years ago, he was accidentally paid 3 million rand. I mean, it's oops, but it's kind of nice oops. The company said he had initially agreed to return the money, but 3 days later he decided to quit and scarpered. So now there's been a 3-year legal battle because they know where he lives. A 3-year legal battle. He was accused of theft. But actually, a judge in Santiago in Chile has since ruled that it wasn't theft, it was not stealing, it was, quote, unauthorized collection, which means, therefore, they can't prosecute it as a crime. Company bosses say they're determined to win back the money, but as it stands, this guy has got himself a very nice free payout, and I can't think the same rules would apply here in London or with you in Johannesburg.
But if they did... HR, are you listening?
If only. Yeah. We'll share it.
Yeah, there we go. That's this morning's Worldview with Adam Gilchrist.
EWN Business.
28 after 8, Mateo, another automaker, this time Renault, slashing jobs.
Yeah, French car maker Renault says it plans to cut 3,000 jobs through a voluntary offer for staff in support functions. Under a cost savings plan dubbed Arrow, Renault wants to cut staff numbers in support services such as human resources, finance and marketing by 15%, which is expected to lead to about 3,000 job cuts at the car maker's headquarters in Paris and other locations worldwide. Now in July, Renault reported an 11.2 billion euro first half loss, including a 9.2 billion euro write-down from partner Nissan. The company says it's been hit by costs associated with electric vehicles, a weaker van market, and commercial pressures in a more competitive car manufacturing environment.
All right, let's talk about Vietnam. Their product export has dropped.
Yeah, Vietnam's footwear exports to the United States plunged 27% in September to $611 million, marking the steepest decline among all sectors following the implementation of tariffs by the U.S. According to customs data released this morning, textile exports also saw a sharp monthly drop of 20%, while shipments of phones and other components fell by 24%. Now, major brands including Nike, Adidas, and Puma have a significant production and market presence in Vietnam, with Nike manufacturing over 50% of its footwear in that country, while Puma's production in the country reached 32% in 2024.
Your indicators?
The rand 70 rand 26 against the US dollar, weakening further this morning at 20 rand 21 cents against the euro and 23 rand 19 cents against the British pound. Price of gold nearing that $4,000 mark an ounce at $3,928 an ounce. Platinum at $1,606, while Brent crude is at $65.16 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotes with more this afternoon.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. Up next, we speak to Franco Prinsloo, the award-winning composer and UJ artist in residence. We'll tell you about UJ's Miracle Tree. All of that to come. In the meantime, what's happening at the headquarters of the ANC, Sfiso Zulu?
Well, Bongani, good morning. After seizing assets at the ANC's Luthuli House offices, Xolani Investments says it is now targeting the party's provincial and local offices to recover its 122 million rand owed to it. In 2023, the ANC reached a settlement agreement with the printing and marketing company for the unpaid work of election banners. Xolani says the ANC has only defaulted on its payment, resulting in the company attaching the party's movable assets and bank accounts last Thursday. The ANC says it intends to pursue a counterclaim for all the payments it has made and has also threatened to privately prosecute directors of the company. Xolani attorney Shafiq Sarli says both the High Court and Supreme Court of Appeal have confirmed that the ANC owes it money for the services it rendered in 2019.
In the week coming, we will be broadening the attachment process by looking at provincial offices and any movable goods there. We'll also seek to find further bank accounts, etc., for attachment and execution. And of course, if all fails, Xolani will consider proceeding with liquidation proceedings against the ruling party.
ANC's, ActionSA's Ekurhuleni mayoral candidate Xolani Khumalo is set to be sworn in as a councillor. The move is aimed at giving the former presenter of a drug-bust TV program some political and legislative experience ahead of the upcoming local government elections. ActionSA currently has 2 vacant seats at the Ekurhuleni Council after firing 2 of its councillors for poor performance. Questions have been raised over the crime-fighting activists' lack of political and legislative experience. Khumalo says he's ready and he's detailed some of his plans should he become mayor.
We're going to establish units within the MPD that will tackle the drug syndicate, the gang, the illegal mining, because of those are the people that are terrorizing the communities and they are bringing instability and they are putting communities in a position where they are not enjoying their right to safety.
Meanwhile, ActionSA President Herman Mashaba believes Khumalo's zero public governance experience is not a major issue.
In another week or so, Xolani is going to be sworn in as a councillor. So by the time he becomes a mayor, he'll have a better experience than what I was subjected to. So when these criminals can run it, when this racist can run a municipality, I cannot see why Xolani cannot obviously do a much better job than what these criminals and racists are doing at the moment.
The Transport Department in KwaZulu-Natal has reaffirmed its commitment to arresting foreign truck drivers operating without proper documents. The department says some of the drivers are behind the wheel of unroadworthy trucks, putting the safety of other road users at serious risk. Officials also say they've encountered incidents where implicated drivers have fled the scene. Provincial Transport spokesperson Dabezinhle Sibia says the department will now intensify safety operations.
We'll be intensifying the hashtag Nenzani La Ezweni campaign, working with the Department of Home Affairs, the Immigration Unit, the SAPS, the Department of Labour and Employment, as well as the Road Traffic Management Corporation and other agencies. Our focus is on strengthening the validation and verification of immigration and foreign drivers' documents.
And a 60-year-old man is in custody in Australia after he allegedly shot up to 50 bullets into a busy street in Sydney, wounding more than a dozen people. Police were called yesterday to where the alleged gunman was randomly firing shots from his property at passing cars and police. The accused shooter was taken to hospital and treated for minor injuries to the area around his eyes sustained during his arrest. No charges have been laid against the alleged gunman yet. A fine day in store for Gauteng today with scattered showers in the afternoon expected. The temperatures will peak at highs between 29 and 30.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South between the Baklu interchange and Corlett Drive. I'm being told that these delays are being caused by a truck that is stuck on the road near Corlett Drive exit, as well as a faulty traffic light. So please be on the lookout there. Well, in Sandton, we've got an accident reported along Catherine Street. It's right near Greyston Drive, causing delays.
The top story this hour: after seizing assets of the ANC's Lutuli House offices, Xolani Investment says it is now targeting the party's provincial and local offices to recover its 122 million rand owed to it.
So you thought you were building a business? In this economy? Good luck. But day by day, somehow it grew. You became payroll, procurement, PR, and pressure valve. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. What's that saying again? What doesn't kill your business makes it stronger? Or at least it should be that. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Zahira was tired. So tired, she let her eyes rest a bit. It was bad. So bad. She replaced 4 hours of spreadsheets with... It was bad. So bad. Too bad she didn't have Yoko Counter. It automatically recon sales, tracks stock, and staff performance. So good. Yoko Counter. Super simple POS and payments in one. No contracts, no hidden costs.
My guy, tell me how date night was.
Bro, I'm telling you, my arrival was too clean. That sporty exterior, the 1.5 turbo engine, just turns heads.
But what about date night?
Yeah, it was chilled. But the Jolly on Pro, it's on another level, bro.
Sometimes the drive is the best part. The Haval Jolion Pro from only $4,299 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of West Bank, an authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
The Money Show. Weekday evenings at 6.
Government is looking at a way that would allow unlisted companies, I suppose in a way, you would be buying your BEE status.
What this proposal seems to say is that, look, if you can simply just move away from trying to do this patchwork approach of trying to address every single other element and simply focus on a turnover levy that you would pass on to this fund, you'd immediately get to level 3.
Kai Satole is an independent analyst.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by ActionSA. ActionSA is a proud lead sponsor of B20 South Africa 2025. ActionSA is an authorized FSP and a registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. 702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Bongani, if I can tell you, Xolani might get the job, but trust me, he's just gonna be there as a face, as a puppet. He's not gonna make any decisions. You can see that these people are just playing games because of the work he's been doing. So they just took him and said, no, he can do this. No, they just want him there as a face. And in the background, they'll be controlling everything. Thank you.
How's it, 702 fam? How's it, Bongani? It's Stephen here. What a wonderful morning in Joberg. Hey, sun's out. Spring is definitely here. Summer probably arriving before spring. Xolani Khumalo, wow, how underwhelming was that? I mean, I know you're just a broadcaster, but where are the ideas? I mean, so underwhelming. I mean, maybe it's too early in the morning or something. But wow, Herman, I don't know. Maybe we need to think again for ActionSA, for Ekurhuleni. I mean, could be wrong. People surprise us all the time. But I don't know. I just didn't get a sense of anything that's going to improve the lives of people in Ekurhuleni. Anyway, I'll check you later. Cheers.
Good morning, Bongani. I feel like the people of Ekurhuleni and South Africa at large, they want simple things, not big English. Someone will come and address us with big English. They want simple things, security, and all that services being done to them. That's all they want. That someone who didn't conduct interview with the best of English you can find in the world is non-existent to South Africans. I think Xolani is the best candidate any city could be offered. I wish he was here in Joberg, Eden from Marshalltown.
Good morning, Bongani and the team there. You know what? We have people with degrees and all sorts of qualifications in government presently, and they are the most corrupt and the most inefficient bunch of people. So let's give the guy a chance and see what we'll come up with. Thank you, Will in Pretoria.
One of the things that has to be said is the generosity of South Africans can be absolutely astounding, right? We spoke earlier about some kind of baseline in terms of your requirements for leaders, qualifications. And it is true that people aren't always necessarily qualified specifically, say, in the portfolio that they run. If I remember correctly, I think Trevor Manuel, by any description, is the best finance minister we've ever had. He had no business qualification or anything of that sort. I think he was a structural engineer or something of that sort. That was his background. I mean, of course, he did some management courses and so on later, but he had no business expertise. He wasn't an MBA, yet the economy, you could argue, has never been better managed than it was under Trevor Manuel. So it isn't always true that you need a qualification that makes you a specialist in that particular area. But one of the questions we posed to Xolani, who wants to be the mayor of Ekurhuleni, this is Xolani Khumalo, right? With ActionSA, I said to him, what are you going to do for revenue generation? Because whatever your plans are, if you don't have money, if the city doesn't have money in its coffers, you can't do anything because things have to be paid for. So what are your plans for making sure that the city is afloat, is in the black, it's got the money to be able to tackle the things you want to do? Yeah, no, it was a difficult one, wasn't it, for him?
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, let's talk women's cricket. It's the World Cup.
It is, and today's our second game. So, I mean, absolute thrashing by England in the opening game. We were out for 69, so it wasn't great. But hopefully today against New Zealand, things will turn around. They look a lot better. Each plays seven games.
Yeah.
So it's, you can't look at the one and go, oh my gosh, well, that's it. 7 games, and then the top 4 teams go through to the semi-final and final. So let's keep our faith, keep going.
It's a simple format, right?
It is. It's a very simple
Everybody
format.
plays everybody
Once.
Once.
And then whoever finishes top 4 goes through. So wicket-keeper Sanala Jafta is, though, expecting today's game against New Zealand to be tough, given that New Zealand played in a very high-scoring game with Australia in their opening game.
Fortunately, cricket is a game where you wake up and you have another day. And I think when you look at how we've played, if you really want to go that deep, 2023 World Cup, you could have been speaking another different story in South Africa. But I think for us, it's literally just being disciplined in what we do, and we take it literally one ball, one game at a time.
Match starts at 11:30. Arsenal tops the Premier League ahead of Liverpool going into the international break. Yesterday, City beat Brentford 1-0. Haaland with a goal to move to 5th. Palace suffered their first loss. They went down 2-1 to Everton. Aston Villa beat Burnley 2-1. Wolves drew 1-0 with Brighton. Nottingham Forest lost to Newcastle 2-0. Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs are both out of the Carling Cup, both losing on penalties. Sundowns to Gallants and Chiefs lost to Stellenbosch on penalties 5-4 after a goalless game. Stellies coach Steve Barker.
The effort the players put in, the commitment, the unity, the togetherness that they showed out there is exactly what we need to continue to do. We do things our way, Stellenbosch way. We're a team that's difficult to play against, hard to beat, and I think we demonstrated that today. In terms of progress, we need to just find ways to create better opportunities to threaten the opposition goal more, but just really proud of the effort that the players put into this 120 minutes.
In the quarterfinal draw, Stellies got Gallants Pirates against Magesi. The Bulls and Stormers both unbeaten after the opening 2 rounds of the United Rugby Championship. The Lions have yet to win. Zebra scored at the final minute for yesterday's 22-20 win. George Russell won the Singapore Grand Prix ahead of Verstappen, then Norris and Piastri. McLaren won the F1 Constructors title. MotoGP World Champion Marc Marquez fractured his collarbone when crashing out in Indonesia. The rookie Aldegar won the race. South African Brad Binder finished 4th, his best result of the season. In golf at the Sanderson Open, Garrick Higgo finished 2nd, just 2 shots behind the winner, Steve Fisk. While at the Alfred Dunhill Links in Scotland, Richard Sterney finished joint 3rd on 13 under, 3 shots off the winner, McIntyre's pace. South African golfers doing very well over the weekend. 2nd and 3rd is really from it all. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
7:45 on the button. Amo Ramela gives us this latest traffic update. It's the last one for the morning, for breakfast anyway.
It is indeed, Bongani. We've got delays on the M1 South between the Baklu interchange and Corler Drive. A truck is stuck along this route near the Corler Drive exit. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling in Sandton, an accident reported on Catherine Street right near Grayston Drive, causing heavy traffic volumes. In Kelvin, we still have got those roadworks along the N3 North right near the Baklu interchange. Delays from Vincent Chabalala Road and leaving the city of Tshwane on the N1 South. We've got some delays approaching Midrand. This is just as you approach Olifantsfontein Road. More updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
OUTsurance Business Insurance is not just insurance. It's emergency help when you need it most. Switch today and enjoy services like Help at Out with 24/7 access to panic assistance, roadside assistance, and even office assistance. For catering companies, boutique hotels, guest houses, tour operators, and other industries, OUTsurance Business Insurance are trusted experts in insuring your business. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Fellow taxpayers, make tax matters a #1 priority by submitting your personal income tax return by the 20th of October 2025 deadline. Once your tax return is submitted, you'll receive a notice of assessment stipulating if there's any tax assessed debt due to SARS or not. Should you owe, it's crucial to settle tax obligations on time to avoid any penalties or interest charges. SARS, at your service.
Coming up
On the Clement Manyatela Show.
on 702.
Clement Manyatela show starts at 9 o'clock. The man in the hot seat. By the way, thank you so much for Friday, for
It's
the
a
rescue,
pleasure.
for the rescue remedy.
How's your lip now? Looks okay.
My stiff upper lip. No, much better.
Yeah.
Does anyone fear injections?
I do.
Yeah, I got an
hate those
injection on Thursday. Hey,
On the lip?
yeah, no, thank you, no, gosh, that would have been scary.
Yeah.
All right, that puts things in perspective. There's something I don't know about being an adult.
Yeah.
And having to get to expose your bum.
Yeah.
Like it's oh guys, it's so humbling.
I've
so
always
humbling.
hated
Yeah,
injections.
no,
yeah.
but it worked, eh?
Mm.
It worked, and the
We can
swelling came
see.
down, and yeah, I'm back to normal.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you. So that's all to answer the usual question of how I am. See, we
It's
can
for the
answer
week.
it without asking how
We're
are
done
you.
for the week.
What's on the show?
So coming up on the show, we're gonna start with the 702 open line as always. I mean, there's so much happening
Take
in
your
this
pick.
country, in the world. Take your pick. So a lot to reflect on, including the incredible sporting weekend for the Springboks.
Arsenal,
right?
Pirates.
Yes, yeah, and we'll reflect on George Russell's win as well at the Singapore Grand Prix. But at 10 o'clock, we're going to discuss what's been happening at the Social Development Department. I'm deliberately staying on this story because I think sometimes they think that we're going to forget, but we shouldn't.
And this minister's just not available to talk to anyone.
No, of course, she's not. Even the DG. I mean, what is his job? He's never been available. He wants to send you around and tells you, oh, I'm in a meeting. Okay, last week we even said we can record at your early
At your convenience, yeah.
So we're going to stay on the story because now the Daily Maverick is reporting that the minister may actually be in a romantic relationship with the advisor, which is fine. You don't care who's sleeping with who. But if that indicates that that may be as a result of the minister defending this man from being held
If it's
accountable,
spilling
then that is
over.
a problem.
It's spilling over.
Yeah.
But also we've got to ask questions about this president. How many more of these people?
Kaloku, you have to pressure him. With the higher education minister, what happened?
But I mean, even how we get to the Madlanga Commission and this ad hoc committee, the idea that, what did JJ Tabane say in one of the podcasts? This is not like these people are going to take him to the CCMA.
No.
Right? These are ministers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to look at 10 o'clock. 10:30, we continue with our series where we look at things that science can't explain. And today we're going to be talking about ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts? Have you ever seen one?
Clement.
Huh? And then at 11
I'm a man over 50. More of my life is behind me than in front of me.
So at 11 o'clock, we wrap up the show with our Family Matters feature. Today, we're discussing managing anger and trauma in men. That's our show today between 9 and 12.
Is Boho and everything else on the Clement Manyatela show between 9 and 12.
Great news, travelers! FlySafair is now flying between Cape Town and Hoedspruit 3 times a week. So, whether you want to chase the Big Five in Kruger, soak up the views at God's Window, or wind through the beautiful panorama route, Hoedspruit is the perfect launch pad to some of SA's amazing natural treasures. Ready to go from coastlines to canyons in just a few clicks? Book flights now at flysafair.co.za from just 1,570 Rand. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians, and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outsurance was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover over 15 million. Outsurance came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that we always get something out of Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Would you like to come to the 702 launch of Mandy Wiener's new book? Midday Report host Mandy Wiener has written a book about the negotiations that took place between political parties after last year's election, and that led, of course, to the formation of the Government of National Unity. It's a new book called The Deal. Now, Clement Manyatela is going to be interviewing Mandy about that book on his show this Wednesday, the 8th of October at 10 a.m. Would you like to be part of the studio audience? Would you like to see 702, the station, and watch Clement interviewing Mandy about her fascinating new book? Maybe even get yourself a copy signed by both. Well, send us an email to contact@702.co.za. So that's contact@702.co.za to be part of the studio audience for Clement's Mandy Wiener book launch interview. It's happening this week on Wednesday at 10 a.m. 702, let's walk the talk.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 to 9, you know we are supporters of the arts on this show. So imagine now sitting in a theatre surrounded by voices singing in different South African languages, each one carrying stories of our history, emotion, perhaps even redemption. That's what Miracle Tree Izihlahla Zezimanga promises. Now, before it heads to Stellenbosch Woordfees, Johannesburg audiences are going to get a rare chance to have a look at what is described as a unique choral experience. And it's inspired by Bongekile Mbanjwa's powerful poem, Isihlahla Sezimanga, brought to life through original music by the University of Johannesburg's own Franco Prinsloo, and is performed by Voices Plus under the direction of Sizwe Mondlane and Jade Powers. It's a celebration of our languages, our stories, our identity, and our music. And I'm pleased to tell you we've got Franco on the line. A very good morning to you, and welcome to 702 Breakfast, firstly.
Good morning. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to speak about this production.
It's funny how particular regions of the world or areas are known for particular talents when it comes to music. I think it was Paul Simon who said South America, for example, that's the best drumming you'll get anywhere. South Africa is known for rich melodies and our ability to sing, and that's kind of what this play brings together.
Absolutely. South Africa is one of those wonderful and beautiful places where choral music has such a diverse and rich history. We sing when we are happy. We sing when we are unhappy. South Africans are world-renowned for their choir music, our traditional choral music, but also our contemporary choral music, and our choirs that really, really shine internationally.
All right, talk to me about Miracle Tree for anyone who's unfamiliar. I'm going to try to introduce it, but I'll let you tell the story.
So Miracle Tree is a wonderful production of choral music. I am very fortunate to be this year's artist in residence for the University of Johannesburg. And as part of my residency program, which I do creative research, is this production called Isihlahla Sezimanga, Miracle Tree, which is a celebration of the diversity and the wonderful stories that we have in South Africa through our poetry, and specifically indigenous South African poetry in a multitude of languages, which are so important to continue creating new material in our languages.
What does the poem say? What does it talk about?
So the Miracle Tree is about the ability of one person, if watering a tree and keeping and constantly watering a tree, this tree can grow into a wonderful large canopy of green leaves that really can give shade to everyone. But if the tree is neglected, the tree will only die. And this is a central theme in the production. And this is essentially why it is a multilingual production, because we have such wonderful poetry in South Africa, in South African languages. This became a metaphor, not only for the tree that provides shade, it becomes a metaphor for our languages and our poetry that we should continue to nourish and continue to create in our own indigenous South African languages.
I can see the imagery in my head, the multiplicity of roots and branches. How do you experience music yourself? I mean, particularly when you're going to compose music to something like this, Franco, is it something that's visual? I mean, some people will even say they can see the color of sound in their mind. How does it work for you?
For me, I am very based on text. And that's why this is also about poetry. Poetry really inspires me, and I read a lot of poetry. And through poetry and through collaboration and working with poets and writers in specific languages, collaborating really makes me embrace the language that I'm working with. And also I take the lead of my collaborators. So it becomes also an exploration for me as a composer, the sound of a specific language, the inflection of a language, and also the imagery contained in the poetry ultimately gives you creative license to really explore, and by explore, learn and create something that really can resonate and create something beautiful that can inspire.
So for people listening to us now who may want to come and see this production, what do you hope they will feel, they will experience when they come?
I think the most important thing is to really experience this multitude of branches that is contained in this metaphor of the miracle tree, of our indigenous South African languages. And that people, when hearing the music, some of the pieces are in 3 or 4 different languages combined. So some of the pieces are in Afrikaans, some of the pieces are only in Xhosa, some of the pieces are a combination of Sesotho and Afrikaans and Setswana, for example. And I really think people should walk away, or I hope that people walk away with the idea of that our language and our poetry and our choral music is something to be treasured, something to water, something to really look after, because in that is contained a multitude of history, a multitude of stories, and to really nurture something that is truly unique and special to South Africa, and that is our diverse languages.
It is our own miracle tree. All right, tell me about show dates and where can people get their tickets?
So the Johannesburg concert will be at the Bunting Theatre at the Bunting campus of the University of Johannesburg on the 14th of October. It's this coming Tuesday, and it starts at 7 o'clock in the evening, and tickets are 150 Rand and available at Quicket. And then we are fortunate enough to also take the production to the Stellenbosch Toyota Woordfees, and that will be on the 17th and 18th of October in the beautiful FISMA Hall at the Conservatory in Stellenbosch.
Okay.
And tickets are also available at Cricket.
All right, so that's the 14th of October, not tomorrow, but next week, Tuesday.
Yes, next week, Tuesday, the 14th of October.
All right, fantastic stuff. Franco Prinsloo, the UJ artist in residence at the University of Johannesburg, the award-winning composer.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
We've overstayed our welcome, but we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It's time for the Clement Manyatela Show.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu says he's ready to respond to allegations of political interference in the police service, but he's still in the dark about when he will be called to testify at the Madlanga Commission. Mchunu spoke to media in KwaZulu-Natal this weekend while visiting the home of late Ambassador to France, Natim Tetra. Mchunu, been placed on special leave, has been accused by witnesses at the Commission of being influenced by criminal elements to disband the SAPS political Killings Task Team.